this is true, then our country is in a lot of trouble.
We would have these trips, these special trips.
But he said my daddy takes the bodies to the grocery store and he grinds them up and puts it in the hamburger. And nobody ever knows it.
How can kids 6, 8, 10 years old be describing rituals that come from a book like the Book of the Dead? It's hard to get your mind around people being capable of this kind of evil.
This is Dan Bidondi of TruthRadioShow.com. I am honored to offer my listeners a 1-month free subscription to nystv.org. Subscribers will have access to thousands of NYC TV videos from spiritual warfare to biblical and occultic topics, banned from YouTube videos, and much more. Subscribe today on nystv.org and use the promo code DANTheMan and receive your first month free.
I wanted to draw a picture that describes effectively the false left-right paradigm. The Republican Party props up the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party props up the Republican Party. By itself, a single-party system will fall over. But if you take the two-party systems and you lean them up against each other, this is basically the arch. Their force going together keeps them together and makes it become a very strong, stable platform on which they can build their hierarchical New World Order system. So the current two-party system has been dominated and bought up and controlled by the elite that sits atop it. Now, the elite with a one-party system would not be balanced on top of one party. They would be subject to being toppled. But you put the two parties up against each other, they form a royal arch. And now it's very hard to separate those two because they're leaning up against each other. And so Republicans attack Barack Obama. And then the Democrats attack John McCain. And then the population who's down here is trained to see John McCain as representing them personally, as being their daddy, of where their personal power comes from, of their camp, their brand name, their brand of soda. And so this is a controlled paradigm. And really, it's one unit supporting themselves and containing revolution so that the people who are down here never learn that there is a world outside of this controlled paradigm. We are locked within the left-right paradigm, and then it becomes this huge pageant, this huge distraction where we analyze every facet of the two political parties, never realizing they themselves are simply a front or puppets for a larger power structure. And then they can limit the scope of differences, which, if you look at it, there's almost no difference between the two, instead of getting the people to look outside the box at the wider world.
And welcome to the Nightly News with Dan Bidondi right here on TruthRadioShow.com. Today is Monday, August 14, 2022. So, guys, we've got a special guest in the studio. Before we get to him, I want to thank our sponsors, ShakeandWakeRadio.com and BeforeIt'sNews.com and NYCTV.com. So check these guys out. ShakeandWakeRadio.com, guys, awesome alternative media. And so also, if you missed the Spiritual Warfare Friday, guys, it's up on all our YouTube channels and everything else. Episode 2 of Facing and Defending Our Spiritual Battles with our guest, co-host, I should say, Brian Reese. And we're going to continue to part 3 this week. And if you missed part 1 and 2, don't even worry about it. It's just a biblical study we're doing basically to, for people new in the faith, people in the faith, even people not in the faith, to teach what the Bible teaches us to do in certain situations. And we pray for people, call-ins and all that good stuff. So coming up this Friday, episode 3, and during our break we're gonna get into this. This shatters the whole mainstream media narrative, guys. We're gonna play this. It's uploaded on our channel, but we will play it for the break. This was a nationwide story that hit here in Rhode Island during an abortion rally. This woman, the thing is, this police officer got arrested here, and a buddy of mine got assaulted. We'll get into this later, but we're gonna show what really happened. It's crazy stuff, man. It really is. And so we got our guest here. Hang on one second, guys. Let me get this microphone and everything going. So our guest here, he's Jonathan Resendes. He's a Republican candidate for Rhode Island Senate District 20. And that's Woonsocket, Cumberland, Rhode Island. So welcome to the show, Jonathan.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate you bringing me on today.
Absolutely. So, so we got a lot to talk about, and guys might be a little double voiced, so we're still working the kinks with the audio. So he's live here in the studio, and so he's going to promote his candidacy here on TruthRadioShow.com. And guys, it's a state senator, and I know people from other states. You say, well, what's the state senator going to do? Well, the thing is, that's what I've been preaching forever. Local candidacy is the most important thing. Your vote does count when it comes to local legislation. When state senators, state representatives, they're the ones who could defy which way your state goes. They could overpower the governor, and a state could overpower the government with the 10th Amendment. So if you have a good state Senate and the state representatives, majority, you guys will have a nice state, So, and it all comes down to the local, candidates, plain and simple. So, John, you want to give an introduction?
Yeah, quickly, did you want me to discuss what I'm running on, or just kind of a quick little introduction of myself?
Well, introduction, and
okay,
then
sure.
Get into your topics.
Absolutely. So, my name is Jonathan Resendes. I'm currently, again, running in District 20 here in Rhode Island. That's Woonsocket and Cumberland, Rhode Island. I'm currently running against Roger Pickard. He is a Democrat. He has been in office since 2009. So he is the incumbent. And before being in the Senate in 2009, he was also in the House. Kind of have a career politician kind of deal going. And I'm just running to possibly bring some new, fresh ideas to Rhode Island that could possibly help us out.
Awesome. So, and I think you got a good chance, man, because
Thank you.
Nobody's ever run. This guy runs unopposed half the time during his elections and all that, which is most of the Democrats. And I'm glad there's a lot of good people out there this year getting out to run for office because, again, a lot of these Democrats, and it's not just Democrats, we don't not bash the Democrats, it's the progressives are the problem, Because we have a lot of Democrats who do support our Second Amendment rights and everything else, so it's the progressives that are the big problem, which unfortunately is half the Senate and half the House of Representatives, and we need a big change this year. So, what you running on, man? What's your platform?
Yeah, so basically I have 3 major things that I want to run on. And it's not limited to these 3, but the 3 of them are taxation is 1, definitely a taxation. 2 is child safety. It seems like child safety has been coming up a lot in discussions here around Rhode Island and nationally. And then number 3 would be common sense education. A word that is used by the left very often is common sense this and common sense that. So I'm proposing common sense education. And so we could talk about that if you want me to. I can kind of get into some of them, or it's really up to you, Dan. I can kind of go into the different topics.
Oh yeah, like a brief discussion with common sense education. Obviously, because I know a lot of people out there, myself included, is opposed to critical race theory, opposed to teaching kids how to sexually pleasure themselves, and that's what we got. State senators Samuel Bell and I think General Rock, whoever the case. Tierra Mack, the one that swept over the place.
So you have Tansy and you have Mack. Tansy being the author, Mack backing the bill. And so those 2 are the ones who are currently pushing that very strongly here in Rhode Island. Obviously, we are strongly opposed to that type of education. We don't believe that belongs in the school. If anything, it belongs at home with discussions from parents. And so, yes, that's definitely part of what I'm running on. In the state of Rhode Island, I believe that we have, gone far from what's actually important. It seems like we kind of have an altered version of morality, and it's definitely taken over where, it seems like citizens just don't, the difference between wrong and right and right from wrong. I'm a true conservative to the core. I believe in this one nation under God, and I believe that children are not being taught the proper fundamentals in school, like math, English, science, how to balance a checking account, budgeting, a huge one for me, civics. I believe everyone is born equal here, and that everyone has an opportunity to do something really special with their life. I believe in the dream. I also believe you get out of it what you put into it. So let's try to pass some legislation here that would permanently keep extremely progressive woke ideology out of our schools and put common sense back on the tables and desks of both students and teachers alike.
Yeah, yeah, civics is like very important, and I don't know. I think it's just communist agenda to take them out of school. And if you don't know what civics are, guys, civics teaches the American values, basically the basics of the Constitution and all that stuff, civil liberties, and just as, the fabrics what this country is about, a constitutional republic. Now today we get democracy. Now they've ever since they took civics out of school, all of a sudden went from the constitutional republic to a democracy. You know what I mean? Which is, we're not a democracy. So basically, unfortunately, these kids in school don't know the ass from the end, basically, if you want to put it that way, of what civil liberties are in this country. And it's sad, and that's where the moral decay comes in. And my opinion, too, when they took prayer out of school and Bible out of school, that's when all things started going to hell as well. So, John, what would you do to help... I know state senator, you could do so much, whatever the case, but what would you do to help push civics back in school?
One of the biggest things I should say is, or one of the biggest misconceptions is that that we have to basically be totally against Democrats. I think you kind of brought this up in one of your earlier discussions. Believe it or not, if we have a 50-50 occupancy going on in the chamber where we have 50% Democrats, 50% Republicans, we have to be able to work with each other. And the way we can do this is propose legislation back and forth with each other on things that we all agree on. And what I mean by this, and I'll get to the core of what I'm actually speaking of here, is if we see a few different senators trying to pass this kind of crazy woke ideology, we can just block it. We can say, no, you know what, my constituents don't agree with this, and we need to figure out how to get actual education back on the table. Again, the regular subjects we all grew up with, math, English, science, and I want to see checking account, budgeting going on again. I want students to learn what it takes to actually make it in life. I know when I went to school, these things are already starting to make their way out of schools. This is all important things that students need to be taught to make it in this life. And so what we can do is basically work with each other to actually get these subjects back in school, make sure the proper budgeting is there for this, and that we can just push all that crazy stuff out of the way.
Absolutely. And just clarify, guys, in the chat room, the God he's talking about, because we understand every politician mentions God, and we know most of them don't believe in the God of the Bible. They believe in the androgynous, Kabbalist God, whatever, but he actually believes in that. Actually, I'll let him speak for himself. So, what God do you believe, Jonathan?
I believe in the Judeo-Christian God, Jehovah Jireh. He has many names, but yes, the one that you guys mostly speak of here on this show. So.
Yeah, awesome. So, guys, he's on the same page with us with the scriptures and everything else. So, I know we got a huge, I should say Christian, but we got a huge followers of Jesus audience. You know what I mean? And so it's very critical. I mean, like myself too, I always believe that a politician should believe in God, you know what I mean, and they, the God of the Bible at that, and because that's where the moral fabrics come from, you know what I mean, and I know today's world, it's the religious nonsense, whatever, we're not religion, we're biblical scriptures, you know what I mean, so we follow that. So anyway, that's very important. That was a important key context to the founding of this country. Now, granted, all the founding fathers were, Christians per se, whatever the case, some were deists, even some were in the occult, but that's besides the point. Most of America was at the time, Christian Puritan in the case, so and so anyway, so back to the state of Rhode Island here. So we got, I'll let you go through your platform you're running on. And I got questions too, of course, the Second Amendment questions, free speech, the whole 9 yards.
Sure, yeah. So absolutely. So there was 3 major topics that I was definitely running on, being my platform. The very first one we already discussed. That was common sense education. The next one I'd like to talk about is taxation. So in the last legislative session, there was no permanent reductions on income tax, sales tax, gas tax, or corporate tax. I believe that if Rhode Islanders have any fighting chance of surviving the current state of this economy, we have to revisit everything regarding taxation as it sits. Families and small businesses are still suffering from the after effects of the COVID pandemic. We have unused funds from the pandemic that went to help struggling families and struggling small businesses. It's there, it's in place, we might as well use it. We were all told to place our lives on hold for 2 years, and then we're all given a very little comparatively to get back on track. So this can't go unnoticed and unchecked. Something has to be done. And that's how I feel about taxation currently as it sits. We need to start giving people a break. It's crazy. You guys see it. You guys are the pumps, and this is happening nationally, not just here in Rhode Island. So those are the out there in the audience that are in any of the other 49 states. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They told us to sit on holds, to stand by for 2 years. We're gonna flatten the curve. We're gonna do all this crazy stuff. Make sure you put on your mask. Make sure you do this, and then here we are. And we're all just sitting in the trenches. I'm sorry?
Just don't mention the V word or...
Oh, no, I won't. Yeah, exactly. but and I know you can get kicked off YouTube for saying certain things. And regarding that, if we're talking... Can I use the J word instead? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding the J word, like a Mike Tyson jab, right? I think that's your personal choice. If you want to get that done, it's up to you, but it should never be imposed on anybody else. If they don't want to get it done, then they don't want to get it done. I do believe in medical freedom as well. That's a big, huge thing for me. So that's also another platform that I'm running on.
Yeah, and unfortunately, guys, I should do a Rumble show with him, because there's a lot he has to say about that. So we're gonna skip that part right now because right now we're on thin ice on this channel right here with YouTube. So because this way they can't hit us for any misinformation, whatever the case. So sorry about that, John. It's just like right now this channel's on 2 strikes, so we're trying to walk a tightrope until they go away. So. So we'll have you back on, another time with that stuff. But switching gears over to, and you're right though, lockdowns and all. I'll just shut up because I'll just go into something and I'll bag myself.
I can get into a third topic.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to keep it as safe as possible so that we don't get you kicked off of YouTube, because I know the algorithms are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But the third topic that I wanted to bring up today was child safety. Children are our most vulnerable, but yet most important members of society. We can't forget this, right? They're the future of this country. If we're going to properly nurture our youth and give them all the tools necessary to succeed in this life, then one of those tools needs to be better security all around. The federal government just passed legislation securing new jobs for 87,000 new IRS agents. And I know, technically I am running for Rhode Island office, and so, people tend to keep national politics out of their speeches, but I think this is kind of a good example. Just imagine if our priorities were actually in the right place, and we just hired an entire fleet of 87,000 fully vetted security personnel to work within public education. I mean, would that not have been a better allocation of funds? Here in Rhode Island, when discussing the safety of our children, I would propose legislation that would use funds on the security of our children without posing an infringement on the rights of others. In other words, I don't believe America has a gun problem. I believe it has a mental health problem, and maybe we should have at least half the security measures in place in our schools as we do in government institutions.
Absolutely. And Second Amendment's a big key issue. Like Second Amendment, abortion, and all that stuff. So those are the 2 big key issues. And here's the thing, and I'm not going to get to the abortion stuff too much because here's the thing. Because I know some people might want to ask him about that. He knows where he stands on abortion, but the thing is, here in Rhode Island right now, it's like the Supreme Court's decision has no effect on Rhode Island because it's already been codified. So right now, it's irrelevant, the situation. And me personally, I'm 100% against abortion. And if you want to give your take on abortion, man, go for it. If you want to pass it, I understand.
Yeah. So no, I definitely don't want to play dodgeball with you. I'll definitely get right down to brass tacks here. As a Christian, I think a lot of you out there would actually know my position. However, for the people out there that still want their abortions, it's just like Dan said, it's important to remember that the state of Rhode Island has codified it, so it is in place. It is still legal here in the state of Rhode Island. That was one of the things that Gina actually did, and of course we're talking about Gina Raimondo before she left office to head to Washington to work for Joe Biden. So it is codified here in Rhode Island. Say what you will about that, but it is still legal here in Rhode Island.
Yeah, unfortunately. And and then the whole thing with the gun thing. So now we've seen a governor here, retarded governor, I'm going to say it right out, Governor Daniel McKee. He signs 3 gun legislation unconstitutional. Mind you, the bill failed. It failed in the Senate Judiciary Committee. It failed. Plain and simple. It was supposed to be dead in the water, but they pulled the House bill out illegally and voted on it and put it on the floor and voted on it. Now 3 bills. Number 1 is for hundreds of years in the state of Rhode Island, you could openly carry a long rifle. We never had a problem. Nobody committed mass shootings. You could carry a rifle or a shotgun, an open carry. It was never a problem. He outlawed that. He made the age to buy a long gun from 18 to 21. We never had a problem with that. Yeah, and then you also ban high-capacity magazines that's over 10 rounds. And the thing is, we've never had a problem. We don't have a mass shooting epidemic here in Rhode Island. And the thing is, banning any kind of magazine is not going to solve nothing, you know what I mean? In which we're trying to fight these things in court right now. We got legislation pending. But your thoughts, I mean, one person in the Senate, but the thing is, what would you have voted all these gun bills down? And what's your thoughts on just Second Amendment altogether?
So, I'm a big, huge Second Amendment guy. I think you know this. Very huge supporter of the Second Amendment. It's my personal belief that you can't have any of the other freedoms in this country without your Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is the only guarantee for you as an American citizen to guarantee the rights to all the others that you have. That being said, I think it's important for people here in Rhode Island and for those listening in the audience online to know that every year I have always gone to the State House anytime there's been any type of infringement approaching our Second Amendment rights. I've always been at the State House wearing my yellow shirt. In fact, that's why I'm wearing a yellow shirt constantly. This is to show my dedication to the cause. I will not take this yellow shirt off until all of our gun rights are given back to us fully. And I own about 6 or 7 of these just to make sure I don't keep wearing the same one like a scrub. But basically, yeah. In the weeks leading to that being passed, I was at the State House constantly for hours on end. I would literally leave work to get there on time to be at the State House to defend our freedoms as a regular citizen, just like you, just like Dan here, just like anybody else would do in their right mind. But basically, I was there. They did pull some sneaky stuff there, for sure. Anybody who lives here in Rhode Island and was there. There was thousands of us there, and they passed it very strategically, very sneakily. In fact, I think I was already home. We had, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but we had gone home after celebrating winning. And then a few hours later, I was getting a phone call saying, hey, you need to get back down here. They're doing some crazy, sneaky stuff right now. Yeah. You need to get down here right away because something is going on that doesn't seem right. And then sure enough, they passed those bills that night. And there is an open lawsuit going on fighting against that, which is great. Yeah, I agree with Dan on this topic. There's things that maybe he and I don't always agree on, but this is one thing that he and I do agree on. It's shall not be infringed. Absolutely. Period. And one more time, period.
I don't know anybody, like two people that agree 100% on anything anyway. So, everything anyway. So even the strongest couples, marriage couples, oh yeah, by the way, congratulations on your brand new marriage. You just got married last Thursday. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
God bless your marriage, man. And,
thank you.
Pray for
20 years. 20 years we were, we've known each other, and it's pretty amazing to finally come together. I mean, she's my life, she's my world, she's my everything, she's my rock. It's a true blessing to finally be married to her. Her and I got together in high school, so she's my high school sweetheart, and it's just amazing. So I love her. If you're listening to me, Ashley, I love you so much. Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. And I know Jonathan for a long time, and he moved to Georgia, right? Yes. Yeah, he moved to Georgia for a while, came back to Rhode Island, and started from scratch here in Rhode Island, and worked his way. Just got back to work and everything else. And I seen his journey here, and also in the faith as well, bringing his brand new family into the faith of Jesus Christ, which is awesome, and getting them baptized. It's a blessing. And him here he is, married now and running for political office. And the thing is, he's running for political office because I can say for himself here, the only reason why he's running for political office because he's just like us all, sick of the crap going on in the state and in the country. But unfortunately, I know there's some questions here about national stuff and international, and this really don't affect Rhode Island right now, but which is going to affect the whole country eventually because of the food shortages and that's being engineered by the globalists. But my buddy Roger Hopp, who's coming up Wednesday, he's from the Netherlands, and the Dutch are fighting it back against their own government. Do you know anything about that, or do you want to comment on that?
I kind of want to stay out of that right now because it doesn't really feel like it's pertinent to this right now. But however, I can make a small comment because it kind of does overlap, right? So things that happen overseas tend to eventually make their way here in America. A lot of things that are happening, like the farming situation where farmers are, farming plots are being shut down. That stuff eventually makes its way here, and it actually has arrived here. I believe families and business owners have a right to freedom as well. You know, if you own a farm, there's no reason why the government should be trying to shut you down and taking full control of everything you have. We've seen this in the past, already in a decade past, where Monsanto was, moving and encroaching on people's land with their genetically modified corn. They would place one farm across the street from, a third generation family farm, and then 6 months later, after owning that farm, they would, place a warrant on that family and say, hey, we want to seize your corn for DNA testing. And then lo and behold, they would, of course, they knew what was going to happen. They would actually, look under a microscope and see that the DNA of the family's corn was the same exact DNA because it was a dominant gene in the genetically modified corn. And they would now own both sides of the street, and they would own the 300 years history farm, and now they own both sides of the street, and it's really sad.
I remember hearing about this. They would do some nasty stuff. They would drive by and put the seeds up on the wheat, whatever. So it purposely blows into the wait till it's going down, and purposely blows into the farm, or they'll from a small airplane they'll drop the seeds, whatever the case, all over the farm, so they can say, oh, you're using our copyrighted seeds, we're gonna sue you for your farm and everything. They do all these dirty, nasty tricks, man, and it's horrible. And God bless everybody in the Netherlands. If you don't know what's going on in the Netherlands, guys, take the lead from the Dutch. The Dutch are doing something we should have done a long time ago. And then here's the thing. These guys don't have weapons, man. They are literally fighting, okay, using tractors, whatever they have to do against their own government to stop this globalist tyranny, to say, you guys better euthanize 30% of your cows. They're going to shut the farms down, man, and the farmers are not taking crap. And Roger Hopp, he's coming on Wednesday to give us an update on all this stuff here. So, also another question here by Josh Mello. As you know Josh Mello, what happened to him, which is, and not just him, but all the other, and thank God I wasn't there, I was supposed to be there, all the independent media was viciously attacked at the Rhode Island State House when all these animals were at the State House screaming and bellyaching, oh, the Supreme Court's taking my rights, because I can't murder babies like a demon that I am. So, they had this rally at the State House, and again, because it's just asinine, because it's codified in Rhode Island. So them yelling and screaming at the State House for what? Nobody took nothing away. Unfortunately, he should have took it away, but nobody did anything. But anyway, Josh gets viciously assaulted. You got a police officer who got fired. You got another journalist who gets assaulted, and his girlfriend, and gets arrested for getting assaulted. You know what I mean? So, wow. I mean, a huge, vicious attack on independent journalism here in Rhode Island. And what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I won't get too much into that. But I do think the situation at hand that we're facing is that, we have an uninformed public, and it's totally not their fault. It's just what we've been given, right? People believe that journalism should be unbiased. In my personal opinion, journalism has never been biased. A lot of people say that, journalism has only been biased for the last 10 to 20 years. I remember the old days of Walter Cronkite and everything was neutral. No, journalism was never biased, but the thing that actually does happen every single day is they choose what you're going to know. And this is what causes things like those riots that you were talking about, Dan. People don't know that this was actually codified into law by Gina Raimondo already. But yet they were out at the State House rioting, picketing, going crazy, starting fights for something that was already codified. And again, it just goes to show you that they are not informed and to no fault of their own.
Yeah, here's the thing, too. If Rhode Islanders knew that and understood this, I don't think there would have been a rally at the State House. I really don't. And there was no need for it. And, again, I'm 100% against abortion, guys, 100%. But if these people would have been informed, if the media did their job, say, guys, relax, it's codified in Rhode Island, okay? Relax. You're not losing nothing, okay? There would have been no abortion, nobody screaming and yelling. You should have heard these people at the State House. And when you see the video, guys, when these people in Josh Mello's face, and I'm telling you, you could see demons in the eyes of these people. I'm not even joking, okay? This poor guy was viciously assaulted and everything else. You could see we showed his POV, point of view camera too. These people were there like literally evil, demonic people. And I'm not even joking. I've been to these things, okay? When you had churches there praying and all that out loud, these people are twitching in the corner. I'm not even joking, man. This is real spiritual warfare stuff, man. But this is where we're at, man. When you have a society bitching, moaning, complaining because they can't kill babies. Wow, I'm lost for words with that. But anyway, there was another question I wanted to ask you too. Rhode Island issues. Okay, we go back to Rhode Island issues. Okay, now in Rhode Island we suffer a big deal with the small business though. It's called tangible tax. So what a tangible tax is, the town or city says, all right. So just basically, you just say you own a restaurant, right? So you bought a television, couple televisions for your customers to watch, right? You bought a cooler for your, the drinks, whatever. You bought a cash register. Mind you, when you purchase these items, right, you've already paid taxes on this. So what the tax assessor, the town or the city does, once every year, they come in, see everything you have. You could have a TV that's outdated, 10 years old, right? The old tube-screen TVs. Okay, they'll sit there and go by the value of them and tax you accordingly, a total of everything you have in your restaurant, or your small business, whatever the heck you have, right? And you can have outdated equipment, you're still being taxed, even though you pay taxes on, you're being taxed on. This is called a tangible tax. Now, when I ran for state senator, I've talked to many business owners in Central Falls, Rhode Island, and also Pawtucket as well. They all tell me the same thing. If we didn't have tangible taxes, I could easily afford to hire another person. I could easily afford to get updated equipment, but every year, every 2 years, whatever, they hammer us with these tangible taxes. And the guy was telling me, you see that television there? I want to get a new one, but I'm afraid to bring it in here before, I'll get taxed with this brand new TV. And it's like, this TV's 10 years old. I have to whack it a couple of times for it to come on. You all remember those TVs. And you know what I mean? Like, this is what the people face in Rhode Island, man. Tangible taxes, which I think is pure extortion. You already pay taxes on the items. Leave them alone. You know what I mean? I think it's pure extortion, and it's doing a huge hurting on the business here in Rhode Island. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I think you pretty much spoke for me to the words right out of my mouth. I might have said it a little bit differently, but I pretty much feel the same as that's way. I believe once you've paid taxes on something, you've already paid taxes on it. There's no need to pay on it again. This is also, we're seeing this actually finally happen in the state of Rhode Island now. If you notice, they're getting rid of the car tax this year. We will no longer be paying taxes on cars. But again, getting back to the businesses, businesses are struggling already as it is, right? As I said earlier, we were struggling for 2 years straight, and it seems like we basically have had no help, little to no help, and it's not enough. I know that the government did kind of step in and help here and there, but no, I'm sorry, it's not enough. 2 years of our lives were taken away, and comparatively, it's nothing. The things that they've done comparatively is absolutely nothing, and something needs to be done. But as far as taxation goes on items individually, it just seems like a nitpicking type deal there, and I'm not for it at all.
Well, speaking of that, man, small business supposed to be helped. Yeah. If I'm not correct, I forgot the amount. I think it's $1.5 billion. That President Trump at the time sent the state of Rhode Island to help and boost the small businesses after the lockdowns and everything, right? Yeah. Now, at the time when our governor right now, Daniel McKee, he was up there, Gina Raimondo, she giving out these funds, right? Why is she withholding them, right? So basically, after she left, he becomes governor. Where's the funds that supposed to go? And most of these small businesses went out of business. That money would have helped keep them their doors open. But yeah, and he takes the reins. We had high hopes for this guy too. Takes the reins and does a complete 180 on everybody, man, and him himself. Where's the funds for these businesses? So as a senator, I know you got limited powers, but as a state senator, and you will get in, hopefully, God willing. As a state senator, what would you do to? Hey, listen, I want accountability where the hell that money is, and that money better go to the small businesses as it was supposed to do.
Yeah, so I did hear about that at the time. Again, small businesses, they already have enough on their plate. We need to start passing laws to help businesses out. The current statistic in the state of Rhode Island shows that Rhode Island is number 47 in the nation to do business. Yeah, you heard that figure right. Number 47 out of 50 states, we fall in number 47. People that have heard me talking probably feel like at this point that I'm a broken record, and that's fine, but I'm going to keep repeating myself until this stuff starts actually changing. Like, this is the state that I grew up in. This is where I was born and raised, and I don't accept it. It's time to start changing things around here. Rhode Island has so much opportunity to become a place of business for people to come from out of state, from surrounding towns and cities to do their business. I mean, it's an amazing location. We have 4 seasons, all 4 seasons. Okay, well, the climate changes will tell you that we don't. But anyway, we have 4 seasons in the state of Rhode Island. Okay, and we don't take that into account. We don't benefit from that at all. We're not giving breaks to people where they need them most. I mean, they suffered so hard during this pandemic. and we're just doing nothing for them. It's time to start helping people out. You know, the biggest tragedy that happens in the state of Rhode Island, because, you know, we have families, say we have kids here and we send them off to college, they don't stay here when they graduate. Where do they go? They leave. They get their education from Brown University, from RISD, from Rhode Island College, from URI. They get their education and they go somewhere else to open up their businesses. Why? Because Rhode Island wants to tax them to death. We can't keep doing the same repetitive motions. All it's doing is we're paying people and then driving them away to go somewhere else. It's time to bring business back to Rhode Island. It's time to take care of the middle class, okay? And yes, we can do both at the same time, okay? It's not just about businesses. It's about the middle class. It's about the working man, blue-collar workers, and it's about the small businesses. That's what I'm about, and that's what Rhode Island should be about.
Well, Melanie in the chat room wants to know about your position on employment taxes.
Employment taxes? Can you maybe ask her just a little bit about what she actually means by that question? Because I think that's a loaded question, and maybe what she means specifically, and we can get back to her for sure. I'm sorry, Nelly. I just want to make sure I get your question right.
Kind of define that question a little bit more. Position on you saying unpaid employment tax? I don't know where you're going with that. And that was the 30-second delay, so it could take a minute.
Yeah, it could take a little while.
So yeah, any other questions here?
I could speak a little bit, maybe while we're waiting for that question, because I don't want dead air, and I don't want people kind of just sitting on standby for an answer, and I also don't want them to feel like I'm trying to avoid the question. I know that as a worker myself, I don't just do politics for a living. I'm an actual worker. I work in fiber optics. I work on cell towers. I do fiber optic transports, equipment for that. I run fiber optic cabling. I know that I had a lot more money in my pocket under the last president than I do under the current president. If that answers your question, I hope it does. I'm more in favor of that. I'm in favor of keeping more money in my pocket every single week and being able to put food on my table and not having the government steal money that I worked for.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that everybody should get behind. I don't care if you're.
Define the question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The 25% tax that is taken from Americans, do you feel it's unconstitutional to working Americans? 25%.
Yeah, so I can give you a packed answer on that. I think I was kind of getting into that a little bit. The reason why our founding fathers left the land of Europe, it was to avoid taxes. But believe it or not, within a few years later, they were already imposing taxes on their own people here in America. They did discover that taxation was necessary to a point. But however, I also do believe that we've gone way too far with the taxation. We are being taxed to death. It is crazy. I don't know how people are surviving. It's truly my belief that I don't think people actually are surviving. If you call it surviving, I don't know what the definition of surviving at this point actually is. I don't know how people are doing it. I know we're all struggling. I'm not rich. I don't own a crazy business. I punch in the clock every single day just like you do, and I want to be able to keep my money so that I can actually put food on my table and feed my family. And I want to be able to give them an education one day if they choose to go down that path, whether it be in a prestigious college or just a trade school. I'm actually more of a fan of a trade school. If people want, I think we need more people in trade schools, but that's a whole nother topic I can get into. But as far as the taxation goes, Nelly, I think that we need to start actually looking into how money is taken away from us. It's taxation is theft. In all reality, I believe taxation is basically theft.
Absolutely.
So.
And Roger Hopp is asking, independent or does it belong to the parties? Well,
I'll get into that.
I'll let Jonathan explain that.
So I am running. I am an endorsed candidate. So I am currently endorsed by the Rhode Island GOP, and there was nobody else running in my area. They chose to endorse me, and so yes, I am an endorsed candidate. I do have a lot of independent values, but I am mostly conservative when it comes down to brass tacks there.
Basically, if you test Jonathan against the Constitution, you'll see him right in the envelope of the Constitution. Now, his opponent, it's got to be out of the envelope of that big time.
Yeah.
So if you want to go by envelopes, basically, that's envelope is within the construct of the system. You know what I mean? The Constitution. So he's dead center in the middle of the Constitution, and that's perfect to me for a candidate. Now, regardless, I know people say, "Oh, he's got an R next to his name." Well, unfortunately, here in Rhode Island, man, you need to run as an R or a D because the chances they really sing out. It's not just the parties. It is a control mechanism to stay around the Board of Elections and all that. They really take it to independence. They try to boot them out, blackball from the media. It is horrible. So unfortunately, you have to run as an R or a D and Rhode Island to get some clout. You know, I mean, once you get in, then there's a different story after that. But you know, it's unfortunate the way it is. And but the thing is, like I say all the time, guys. There are great people who are Democrats. There are great people who are Republicans. We should not base a vote over a Republican. So if you're an independent, you're a Democrat in Woonsocket, Cumberland, guys, and you support this guy's value, but he's not a Democrat. So what? You know what I mean? So what? You know what I mean? It's not about parties, man. And if people stop doing that, okay, Republicans and Democrats are both equally guilty on this. If you stop voting according to your party and start voting who supports, who fits the envelope of the Constitution the most, we would have a great state, and it would trickle to the rest of the country. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. You know what I mean? And I'm independent. I'll vote for a Democrat if I support him. If I really believe he's better than a Republican, I'll vote for him. Or her, you know what I mean? The same thing on the other side, too. I've helped elections, okay, and I feel bad I didn't get to help Jonathan with his this year, but since I was a kid, I was working elections. I worked Democrats, Independents, Republicans, Libertarians, of all sorts of seats, everything but the United States president, you know what I mean? So I've been around the block with the politics, man, and there are good people and bad people in both, you know, plain and simple. So don't limit yourself to a political party, you know what I mean?
And I could also speak towards that too, Dan. You know, one of the biggest things I tell people all the time, and you know, because you're talking about the two-party system here and the conflicts that we have here with that, and people obviously have their different opinions about that, right? Yeah. The biggest thing that I try to explain to people is in the last year and a half to 2 years of your life, have you been happy with everything that is going on around you? With going to the grocery store and going shopping, with going to the gas station and putting gas in your gas tank for your car, traveling, maybe not being able to go on vacation and spend a little bit of extra money like you normally do every year. You know, have you been able to do the daily things in your life that you normally can for the last 2 years of your life? That is the biggest thing. Can it all be blamed on the President of the United States? No. A lot of it has to do with the people on their local level as well. You know, we definitely want to have the scapegoat president that we can say, hey, you know, Uncle Joe did this and Uncle Joe did that. But the sad reality is, yes, he had a huge say in this, and the people working for him had a huge say in this, but it's also people on the local level. So, you know, if you are living in a primarily Democrat area and you're seeing the tragedy that's been caused by the Democrat-run government in your area, then it's time to make a change. You know, we know for a fact that people that have been voting Democrat for the last 25 to 30 years, maybe even 40 years, their whole entire life, are finally flipping this year. There's going to be a massive red wave, not just here in Rhode Island, but all over this huge country of ours. They're sick of it. They're sick of being lied to. They're finally waking up to the fact that they've been lied to their whole entire life with the same victim mentality lies being fed to them, that you're a victim and we need to do this for you and you need to do that and you're a victim of this and you're a victim of that. No. You put in what you get out. But guess what? The government should not be taking that from you. I'm a very big fan of small government. Okay, I am running to be a senator, but I am telling you, I'm not running to be a senator to be in control or anything like that. I am running for a senator because I am upset, and you should be as upset as I am. Okay, the things that have been taking place in this country of ours is ridiculous. It's time for a change. We can't keep going in the same direction. Something needs to change here. Something's got to give. Yeah. We can't keep living this way. If you don't believe in the left versus right paradigm or the D versus the R next to our names, that's fine. But look at the politics around you and vote with your heart, okay? Vote with common sense, with logic. Figure it out. You need to start getting involved. You can't just keep voting on the party line ticket. You need to figure out who is for who and what's for what. I do believe that this year in the state of Rhode Island, however, I will speak to that, you know, going back. I'm not trying to, toe backwards here or pedal backwards. I do believe that in the state of Rhode Island, the Rhode Island conservatives that all stepped up, there was over 70 of us. Over 70 of us stepped up in the state of Rhode Island after what took place at the State House regarding the Second Amendment to all run for office. And I truly do believe that all of us have the right intentions, and I am backing the Conservative Party, which is the RIGOP, this year. And so please understand that. I am not a typical candidate that does that. It just so happens that I find that Republicans typically stand with my conservative values, and that's why I consider myself a Republican.
Yeah, and to back you up, NPR News, of all people, they even reported that they said over 1 million swing voters, that this is the average folks that vote for whoever, right?
Yeah.
Have all decided they're going to vote Republican this year. So, yeah, and even CNN saying, hey, we're done, you know, and Biden's advisors strongly recommend not to go to another lockdown because it'd be a political suicide, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know they're going to get killed in the midterms, and I can't mention on YouTube here, we know what happened 2 years ago, and we're trying to hopefully prevent that from happening again. But John Hall, he asked you, has Jonathan been subject to a liberal left attacks? They have shown me here about the letter of law, and it very seems like the Teflon on them. So basically, they do what they want. So have you been a subject to any far leftist attacks?
Yeah, absolutely. And just first and foremost, John Hall, I'm a huge fan, by the way. We've never spoken or had any conversations, but I do want to let you know that I'm a huge fan. But yes, I've definitely been attacked by people just in conversation, in person, online. It doesn't seem like when we're in the when we're on the left of the aisle, or when we're in the same room with those to the left of us, that we have fair conversations and civil conversations. It always seems to be like this yelling match of who can be louder, and I just don't tolerate that. I don't deal with that at all. I believe that everything can be discussed with reason. In fact, Jesus Christ said, let us reason together. And so I always use that when it comes to discussing politics with people. My biggest thing is us coming together and actually reasoning together is what's actually going to solve the problems. I kind of blanked out there for a moment, but I'm human, and I apologize for that.
Hey, you know what? Oh, well, that's how it is. And there's this picture here. The only time you'll see him in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like me. We're not really suit people. You know what I mean? And,
I think I just fanboyed out with John Hall, so that's why, and I kind of lost my train of thought.
So you got a big fan there, John.
Yeah.
He's on there watching now.
Awesome.
So is there anything else you want to disclose before we go to a break?
No. I'll probably plug this a couple of times in the radio show. If you guys would be so kind as to look down in the description below of this video, Dan has placed a hyperlink to my campaign fundraising page. I'm not one to ask for money, but right now things are really, really tight. As you know, things are hard in this economy, and I've been trying to fund everything by myself, but money is really tight right now. Many people keep telling me, stop being embarrassed to ask for money. Everybody does it, and this is my way to do it. So shameless plug, there is a hyperlink below in this video. It's going to bring you to my page, which is through the Red app, and it's going to bring you to my Friends of Jonathan Resendes page. And please, any money that you can give me today, I'd greatly appreciate. I have about $500 worth of yard signs that I need to print up. I'm only at about $200 right now, so I need another $300 for that. And yes, I'll give the exact figures. That's what I'm doing. And also, I need some literature printed up so that I can actually do some lit drops in my district, both Woonsocket and Cumberland. That's probably going to be another few $100s there. So any money is greatly appreciated. You'll probably hear me plug it a few more times in this video. I do apologize if that annoys you. We want to get the most important information out there, which is why we're running and why we're doing this. But again, we'd appreciate it.
So the wrong page. I'm sorry, guys. This is his page here.
It's fine.
So this was some legal defense fund for the Rhode Island lawsuit against
also very
gun
important.
control.
Also very important. Yes.
So this here, this link here, Jonathan's campaign thing here. This is what it looks like. So the link is in the description, and what I could do too is I could post it real quick on the chat. So anybody wants to drop a couple bucks towards his campaign, and it just goes toward liberty, man. That's all it does. And here's the thing, guys, and I know a lot of you guys take my word for things. I know this guy personally, so I can personally 100% say he's legit. I know him for years. Even at the time, he never even wanted to even touch politics because we know how corrupt it is. So what we've been through this year, if I didn't, I'm going to tell you too, if I didn't have a good state representative, and one of the guys running for state senate here, in my district, he's very good, and he's well off, better than me to run. So I ended up backing down. I was going to run, but I didn't. The only reason why I didn't because we have two good people in the process of doing that. I would have been running too, you know what I mean? But the only reason why he's running for because, like you and everybody else, he's sick of the crap going on. That's why I tell people, if you're sick of it, get up and do something. Run for city council. You can make a massive difference. I mean, imagine if you and your buddies would say, all right, you got your friends all over town, right? You all ran for city hall council, right? All of you guys got in. You could outpower the mayor. Okay, it's the city council. You could outpower the governor. You know what I mean? You could take your city back. And we've created Second Amendment sanctuary towns. Rhode Island, we got 10 of them, working on 11. And, you know what I mean, like, where we tell the government in the state, you're not taking crap, plain and simple. We're a Second Amendment sanctuary. We honor our oaths here in this particular town, you know what I mean? You can do that, guys. And it just takes getting off your ass. I'm going to put it like that, you know what I mean? Because I have to put it that way, because people, they'll bitch, moan, and complain, and I'm being real, man. That's why I'm using this language. They'll bitch, moan, and complain, all right? Oh, this is going on, but all right, where were you on that Tuesday night when the city or town council met to decide, well, we're going to put traffic cameras like in Rhode Island, right? They are meeting tonight, and I wish to God I could have been there. They're meeting tonight, the city call, right, to vote in cameras that read your license plates. It's total intrusive, right? So if people are upset about that, they should be at the city hall, which is, I think, already passed now. But whatever the case, they should be at the city hall yelling and screaming, we don't want this stuff. You know what I mean? So it takes you getting off your butt, going to the town hall meetings, the state houses, and everything else. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to do as citizens. Because here's the thing, in this country, right, for hundreds of years, even the kids, they even drag the kids to the town hall meetings. And if the people don't like what's going on or what they wanted to propose, they voiced out. And trust me, the politicians listen. When you have the whole town screaming and yelling, hey, you're not going to do that. We're going to vote your butt out. You know what I mean? Those people listen. Now, the things they could get away with what they want because they know maybe a handful of people are going to show up. You know what I mean? And that's what they do what they want. That's the only reason why. You know what I mean? For good men, Edmund Burke, when the Founding Fathers was a lawyer negotiator, he said, the only thing evil needs to succeed is for good men, in this case, good men and women, to do nothing. So by you doing nothing, but you're sitting there bitching, moaning, complaining, yeah, you're part of the problem. And in fact, you know what? It's your fault. And I can't blame Biden. I can't blame a crooked governor. I blame the people. I blame myself. I blame us as a whole for not doing something about it. So while they're stripping the Second Amendment rights, whose fault is that? Is that the government's? Is that the criminal Congress? No. It'll be your fault for turning them in. It'll be your fault for complying to this crap. We as Americans, we have a Declaration of Independence and the Second Amendment that gives us the ability, the authority, and the power to stand up against unruly governments and do something about it. Get off your ass and do something. Bottom line, you know what I mean? And I can't express it any more clear, man. And it's your God-given inalienable right to do that. So, Jonathan, any closing words here? We're going to go to break and... when we get back, man, we're going to discuss Trump, FBI, IRS, and all the stuff that's going on in the lying mainstream media. We're going to play the video coming up in a minute here. But this is another pure example of the manipulation. A 5-second half-ass video.
Yep. Taking us out to the break.
The likelihood of two good men. So
taking us out to the break just quickly. I'll make one last little comment. Basically, we got to play the slow game at this. Oftentimes Rhode Island is looking towards other states for their example. Like we'll look to California and the state of Washington and Oregon for examples. How about we start actually making the rest of the country look towards us, right? Why don't we start being the example for other people, start turning things around and how people think on a global level. So when you think that, when the audience here is looking at me as just this, I'm 30 states away from you somewhere and maybe you're living on the West Coast. No, this is the slow game. This is what we got to do. We got to start bringing common sense back onto the table for everybody. Okay, this isn't just a huge shift. It's a slow shift. It's a very strategic shift. We've gone away from reality for a very long time. Society does not know right from wrong anymore. You and I do, right? You and I know the difference, but they don't. We got to start waking people up. The real wokeness, okay, not this fake, neo wokeness. Okay, this is the real wokeness that we need to start talking about. The wokeness of Jesus Christ and bringing morality back into government. Thanks, Dan.
Absolutely, and you're 100% right. So thank you, Jonathan, for joining us one more time, guys.
Absolutely.
Page up here. Yeah, please, if you got a couple bucks, guys, and I know you say, well, he doesn't represent my state, but the thing is, here's the deal, guys. When you can see, okay, remember when the constitutional carry started going through the country? One state did it. There's a few states already had it anyway, but one state did it. It trickled to another state, Now, literally half the country, 25 states now have constitutional carry, pending 2 more right now as we speak. So all it starts is putting good people, and people say, well, Rhode Island's a blue state. No, it's not, okay? It's only because of corruption and, voter F. The F word, yeah. That's the only reason why it's blue. But we have a huge population in Rhode Island that love liberty and everything else. So the links are in the description, guys. So if you want to drop a couple bucks, go for it. And it's going to a good cause. So anyway, guys, I'm going to roll out here. And before we roll out, I want to go to quote of the day. It's brought to you by MidstateGuns.com, and well, me and both Jonathan go shooting here all the time. MidstateGuns.com, located in Coventry, Rhode Island, and it's Rhode Island's largest indoor shooting range. MidstateGuns.com, and the quote of the day is by Thomas Jefferson. The two enemies of the people are criminals and government. So let us tie the second down, with chains of the Constitution, so the second will not become the legalized version of the first. So what is that saying? You need to tie the government down before they become the legalized version of criminals. And unfortunately, that's where we're at. I mean, I hate to say it. Really do. I hate to say it, but that's where we're at today, guys. So that's Thomas Jefferson. So anyway, guys, we're going to roll out here with this awesome video. And it's about 20 minutes, guys, but you're going to see this, guys. And pay attention, okay? And I know for the guys in the spiritual warfare out there, pay attention to the eyes and looks of these people, man. I'll tell you, pure demonic, man. And this is pure example right here. I'm going to show you the slides here. Pure example of the media. You know, one thing's going on, the victim and the assailant, and, you know, the media makes it look like the other way around. Pure example of this. I mean, you can't get any more of an example than this. So anyway, we'll be right back. If you're receiving this transmission, you are the resistance, declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. And welcome to the Dan Bidondi Show, guys. And I'm going to show you mainstream media at its best. Lying like usual, showing a false narrative of what actually happened. And if you all can recall this back in late June, this was a headline story that hit nationwide. 5 million views more that this video has gotten. It was a video that was tweeted by Bill Bartholomew, who is a journalist here in the state of Rhode Island, far leftist journalist at that. So anyway, he videotapes his abortion rally when after the Roe versus Wade decision. People in Rhode Island had a little hissy fit, so they had a little rally at the State House, even though it's codified, abortion's codified in Rhode Island. Anyway, they still had this rally. So this is what the whole nation seen. 5-second video that changed the lives of 2 people. So as you can see there, it appears Officer Gene Lugo, off-duty Providence Police Officer, strikes an innocent woman who happens to be his political opponent. Both of them were running for state senator. So, and you can see, I'll show you this guy in a second. And this gentleman right there, pulling the shirt down, the bald head guy, his name is Josh Mello. He was the victim of this. But of course, Bill Bartholomew, Mr. Mainstream, makes a half-assed video that shows the whole nation, oh, look, why is a man striking an innocent woman? How dare this bad Providence police officer strike her? Officer Gene Lugo, striking his political opponent. Oh, my God. So, of course, it caused national outrage. I mean, if anybody's seen this, even myself, if I knew a man striking a woman, I'd be like, yeah, this guy needs to fry. But this is not the case, guys. This is a perfect example of mainstream media narrative. Yeah, what actually happens is not what actually seen on TV. So, perfect meme for this right there. I mean, this explains it 100%. So, Bill Bartholomew puts this 5 seconds of video up. Mind you, he's got the whole video to show exactly what happened, the whole thing that led up to this. So, of course, the smart people in the comments will be like, hey, what started this? Why did he put, because nobody's just going to come up and hit a woman like that. So the smart people did, and of course you got the other people saying, oh, he should be, fired and everything else, right? Be arrested and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And it's and all the comments from all over the nation, man. Over 5 million views on this video. A half-assed video at that, guys. 5 seconds destroyed the lives of 2 people. And the lives of Gene Lugo there and Josh Mello. Josh Mello right there, independent journalist. I'm just going to show you him in a second here. He's an independent journalist and also a father and a small business owner. They're doing his job to take video of the rally. Gene Lugo, a well-decorated, well-known Providence police officer, very nice guy, running for office. Both of them had every right to be at the State House. It's called the People's House for a reason. And there it is, the news saying that the Providence Police Department recommends termination of Officer Gene Lugo. And he had no choice but to back out of his pursuit. At first he was running for lieutenant governor, then he switched to run for state senator. And that's his opponent, General Ruck. So was this politically motivated? Was it not? So right as we seen it right now, guys, the media, thanks to Bill Bartholomew, is making Gene Lugo to be a monster. How dare he hit an innocent woman? And this is some of the newscasts here.
Not all demonstrations remain peaceful. In Rhode Island Friday, Democrat Jennifer Rourke was allegedly attacked at an abortion rights rally.
Notice how Jennifer Rourke was attacked at an abortion rally, but this is what led up to it, right? They don't show you the part that started the whole incident. Josh Mello right here, the guy in the bald head, independent journalist. We're going to show you his POV video, point of view video. But this is what happened. This is what started the whole thing. He was told to leave. He's trying to leave, and some guy came out of nowhere and sucker punched him.
Not all
Guy in the green.
demonstrations remain peaceful. In Rhode Island Friday, Democrat Jennifer Rourke was allegedly attacked at an abortion rights rally by a state Senate-raised GOP opponent who has since dropped out of the race. Apparent video of the incident going viral. State police say the suspect, an off-duty cop, has been arrested and charged with assault. And Rourke says someone opposing abortion rights was also injured.
People are angry. Both sides are angry. And for it to escalate to this point is really disappointing.
Playing the victim.
Some say this issue can't wait for the midterm elections, even as others make a voting push.
We're calling on the federal government.
So this was all about abortion, and of course, Jen Rourke, at first, she tried to pull the race card until she realized that Gene Lugo is Spanish. So the race card didn't work there, so of course she played the innocent victim. Oh, both sides are angry and all that. All off a lie, guys. We're going to show you what really happened. A 5-second video, guys, and Bill Bartholomew here has the entire video. And the Providence police should subpoena this video for evidence and show it to the media what really happened. The whole video that led up to it. And the guy in the green you've seen there assaulted Josh Mello, the ballhead guy. And what happened was Gene Lugo stepped in to stop it. And you got to see this, okay? And there's a woman in pink there. That's Jen Rourke. She constantly, like, grabbing up on Gene Lugo, wouldn't let him go, pushing him and everything else. And then he had no choice to do what he did. So let's show you the actual videos what happened. So this here is the video.
And that 80% is ready to fight back.
So this is the video from a top view here. So the ballhead guy in the middle, this is what led up to this, okay? So the ballhead guy right in the middle, he's an independent journalist, like I said. He's there taking video. They found out he's not for abortion, which he has a right to be for or not. Regardless, he wasn't there starting trouble, and we're going to show you his video in the minute here. But this video here shows him being assaulted, a cowardly sucker punch, and it caused Gene Lugo, being an officer, stepped in to help the innocent person, my buddy Josh Mello, being assaulted. And he was assaulted by Jen Rourke.
I know we are turning our anger into action. We're going to continue to fight back against the system that is
See, he's getting pushed now. His camera's
the humanity, the dignity of all people.
I'm not going to stand here.
Wait for this gentleman to get You guys
So keep your eyes focused on the ballhead guy, the woman in pink, and you'll see Lugo in the gray shirt. So keep your eyes focused on them, and also a guy in green who sucker punch, as you've seen. So this was the ruckus that started it, guys. So Bill Bartholomew shows you this right there. Gene Lugo punching Jen Rock, but he doesn't show you what led up to this. 5 seconds of video literally destroyed 2 men's lives. So there he is, Josh Mello being told to leave. He's trying to leave, trying to cooperate. And a man out in the green out of nowhere comes and sucker punches him, as we've seen in the other video. Gene Lugo steps in to stop it. And you're seeing right there, there's, if you see Gene Lugo's right arm that's behind him, Jen Rock is grabbing it. She's pulling at him, and she's advancing toward him. She's advancing toward Gene, and Gene had no choice but to push her and punch her to get her off him. And then even after that, she still continues to advance at Gene until the police came in and broke the whole thing up. So they don't want to show you this whole thing, guys. They want to show you a 5-second half-ass video to make Gene Lugo look like the bad guy. And also in the ways of the whole balance, innocent man who's a father and an independent journalist gets assaulted, and no charges were pressed on the man in green who did this. However, they did press charges on Gene Lugo for defending him and himself. So you can see it right there. And he's being held back. She's attacking him, advancing at him. He has no choice but to push him away, and she still comes at him until the police broke it off. See how she continues to advance at him until they break her off? She was assaulting him, and he had no choice to defend himself. But the media wants to make you think she's an innocent woman, that this vicious man attacked her. And shame on Bill Bartholomew for allowing this. I mean, I'm doing this here. This is unreal, guys. This is total disgustingness. You know, it really is that this man here would perpetrate a lie just to gain little points in media. Now, because of his 5-second video that's got over 5 million views, local news station WPRO hired him to be on air. And he's also hosting the Lieutenant Governor's debate here in Rhode Island. So he gained all this fame, literally, off a 5-second video that was a complete lie. So now, guys, when you see this, his video, now you're going to see a different perspective. Now know what you've seen. Okay, we got more 2 videos to come, too. Notice how he cuts it off right about here. Because it shows her, look, she's advancing at him. Even after you try to push her off and punch her, she's still advancing at him. And as Josh Mello pulling his shirt down because he just got, the guy, bald-head guy, just got viciously assaulted. So now, guys, you've seen what happened, okay? And Josh Mello, this poor guy, he's facing a lot of problems right now. And it's crazy, man. He's got a black eye and everything. His eyes all swelled up and all that. And he's been going through a lot of treatment right now. And this is what he's got to do daily. Suffering concussions, loss of breath, vision, and everything else. It still affects to this day. It's been over a month now since this happened. And they are putting they're literally trying to this is the wanted poster, because they're trying to find this guy who assaulted Josh Mello. And if anybody knows this guy, to contact 401-447-7769. The information to lead to the rest of this man. Of course, the police caught everybody else but him. This coward who sucker punched Josh Mello. So, mind you, again, this Josh Mello is a father, business owner, and everything else. He's an independent journalist, does great work in the state of Rhode Island. And Gene Lugo, once again, the Providence police said, well, we recommend termination of Gene Lugo. When he was defending an innocent person and himself against this race bait. And then the funny thing is, too, Jen Rock tried to use a race card, but she couldn't do that because Gene Lugo is Hispanic. So she goes, plays Mrs. Innocent and all that stuff. And yeah, and this guy is a poor excuse of a journalist, really is, Bill Bartholomew. And this guy needs to be called out for the coward that he is, and a 5-second lie. And the Providence police and the officials should subpoena all his video to show what really happened. And we're not done here yet, guys. We got more video here. This video here is Josh Mello's video. Now, mind you, he's in a rally. This is his point of view, POV video. He is literally trying to protect himself. So this is him at the rally, okay? And I'm going to let it play. I'm going to fast forward almost up to the incident because he's sitting there recording all the speakers. People are yelling at him because he's known in Rhode Island as being a political activist and a constitutionalist. So he's already getting heckled from people. So I'm going to catch up right about here. This is when all the stuff, everything started. So people started heckling him for being there because God forbid he's not a leftist journalist. So this is what happened. This is Josh Mello's point of view.
No problem?
And set back the progress we've made in the fight for reproductive.
You're in public. You have no entitlement to privacy. Move along.
This country. But these abortion bans and this decision aren't a faraway problem. Again, you've already heard.
Good for you.
And you know that there are abortion bans right here in Rhode Island that make the legal protections in our state law meaningless.
Wow.
Here's the reality.
I'm a Christian fascist. Talk about the intolerance. Huh? Hi. All I'm doing is sitting here.
And vote on the equality and abortion. And we're not going to stand for that. When we all fought to codify the right to abortion in Rhode Island state law, we accepted the status quo at the time. Today, as the Supreme Court eliminates our constitutional right to abortion,
Look at this. I can go. You can't. It's a public place.
but you're harassing.
I'm not harassing anybody. Woo! Well, you are. You are. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
You can go.
I'm just here.
I don't want to be
Look at this. Oh my God.
You want to be here to start a problem.
You don't even know why I'm here.
Then why are you here?
I don't have to answer why I'm in a public place.
You want to start a problem.
Really? I'm the one starting a problem. Wow. I'm the one starting a problem. Wow. I'm the one starting a problem. I don't even have to say.
It's not supported. You can go.
I'm not even sharing an opinion.
Back up. Stand up. Let him go. Let him go.
Look at this.
No. Let him go.
Look at the face of hate.
Let him go.
I'm not even doing anything but standing here.
You asked to leave, so leave.
No.
I'm asked to leave. How can I move?
You asked to leave, so leave.
So show me how I'm leaving.
The same way you came.
Really?
The same way you came.
No, I'm going that way. I'm not being told which way to leave. I'm not. Yes, okay.
You can go.
I can
You
leave.
can fucking go.
Wow.
You want to start a problem? You can go. Go ahead.
I'm not
Wow.
We're not arguing.
I'm standing.
Then why are you here?
And as you can see, folks, this is insane, really is, that this man had to go through this. And, this is his point of view camera, like I said, his video he was taking. And you could people in the rally get him out and everything else, yelling all kinds of things at him. And on the way there, he's trying to leave, and he's getting his camera smacked, he's getting pushed, he's getting hit the whole time. Until this Doug in the green came out of nowhere and assaulted him. As you can see him go down and his camera go down. And even then, he picks himself up and tries to leave. And thanks to Lugo, that stopped this animal from continuing to assault him. And this is the victim of this whole incident. And the whole thing is, guys, and not to sound repetitive, but this is the crap we have to deal with. This is the crap. And people need to be aware of this. And by the way, there's a cash reward out, like I said, a cash reward for the guy in green. So if anybody knows of him, there's a phone number in there, 401-447-7789, and the email address is right there. If you know him, there is a cash reward for this thug that viciously did this to lead to his arrest. But this is insane, guys. Once again, look at this man here. Father, great man, police officer and everything else, lost his job and had to exit out of the Senate race. And yeah, it is horrible and disgusting. All of lies perpetrated by a coward named Bill Bartholomew, who shows a 5-second half-ass video. Got his 5 seconds of fame, all right. Over 5 million views. And again, this is the video that he showed. And total half-ass, guys. And again, the smart people that watched the video, they asked what happened to lead up to this. And, again, he cuts the video off right at the end because she continues to advance that Jean Lugo. Continues. She would not let up. So this is media at its best, guys. The mainstream media, a bunch of lies, and it's disgusting, really is. So we're asking for you guys' help out there to, stick with this fight against the mainstream media, guys. Support independent media, and we are declaring war against corruption right here on TruthRadioShow.com and the Dan Bidondi Show. So that being said, guys, please help out. Help out, get the information out, and try to get this man who viciously assaulted Josh Mello. And I mean, it's horrible, really is. Let me just get his video here one more time, guys, because this is horrible, man, and this needs to stop. It really does. And this is just
Legal, and that 80% is ready to fight back.
because here's the thing: if this stuff don't come to an end, man, how much more hoaxes and everything else are going to perpetrate, lies and everything else? Innocent people get hurt. Innocent people lose their jobs and their livelihood. Both these guys are family men. They're fathers. Josh suffering physical ailments still to this day. Lugo fighting for his job right now, and this is horrific. And that guy right there is the guy in the green. He's the one wanted. So if anybody knows this coward, please help Joshua. Help Joshua report him. You know what I mean? And again, Gene Lugo, great man here. And this guy in green, a cash reward out for him, guys. So please help support Josh Mello here. Awesome man right here. Can't say enough about him. He's a political activist, journalist, and everything else. Small business owner. So 2 men, livelihoods were ruined over a 5-second half-assed lie of a video. And that's typical mainstream media, guys. So Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. God bless, and you are the resistance. Thank you for supporting TruthRadioShow.com in our continuous fight against the New World Order. If you want to donate and help contribute toward our daily news show and our spiritual warfare ministries, contribute any amount to the following links in the description. That's our PayPal, our Venmo, or our CashApp. Or just simply take out your camera and scan the code bars on the screen. And we thank you once again for help supporting the fight against the New World Order. And remember, you are the resistance. God bless. All right, guys, welcome back. So you're seeing the whole video, and the video itself is posted up on the channels here. So, total corruption, man. And actually, Jonathan was on his way leaving, but he forgot to disclose one thing because we're going to get into the whole Trump, FBI, IRS, and everything else going on. So he's here now, and he wants to basically, before he leaves, he wants to discuss basically the judge, because I know everybody's saying, they're throwing it back at Trump, saying this is the judge that President Trump appointed. So, yeah, and we covered this last week that the judge actually represented Jeffrey Epstein. So here's Jonathan back here again.
Yes, I'm just getting ready to head out of studio. Sorry that you guys lost the video feed. If you guys can hear me, I'm not too sure that they have my audio.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I kind of wanted to give a little, my 2 cents on the situation at hand. So the warrant that was pulled to search Mar-a-Lago on August 5th. Was done by federal magistrate Bruce Reinhart. The funny thing about that, even though he was a Trump guy, and this is what people say, oh, he's a Trump guy. Remember, this doesn't really matter. People turn on people all the time. But anyway, the crazy thing about him is, he quit his job as a U.S. attorney to defend Jeffrey Epstein's accused accomplices. This was all going towards to give immunity for allegedly trafficking underage girls. This is the guy who issued the warrant to go to Mar-a-Lago. And if you think that he's fully, a Trump guy, when they say he's a Trump guy, just remember this guy also donated to the presidency campaigns of both Obama and Jeb Bush. I just think it's crazy, right? Because, Dan, they are doing this investigation on the potential mishandling of classified information. I don't know if most Americans know, but the president has a right to handle classified information. And it technically wasn't a safe, because if you saw the photos and the video of the FBI going to Mar-a-Lago, they took in crowbars to break open to his safe. So it was secured. And it's just crazy. He's not the only, president to do this either. Jimmy Carter declassified information after his presidency. This isn't unheard of information. They're just, it seems like it's a witch hunt, and it's just crazy. Hillary had deleted classified information. You know, where's her search warrant and an FBI raid? Like really, you know? So I don't know. It just seems all crazy. I think they fear that he's going to rerun. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. This is crazy. This is just outlandish. If you support this, then you don't support freedom.
Absolutely no. Even political, well, people. So they says judge approved FBI's Mar-a-Lago search represents clients linked to Jeffrey Epstein as Bruce Reinhardt worked as a federal prosecutor until January 1st, 2008, when a day later he became a defense attorney representing employees of Jeffrey Epstein. So, yeah, you are. Have a judge defending a pedophile and pedophiles with his team there. Yeah, would it surprise you anymore? I'm surprised Trump appointed him, to tell you the truth, but maybe they had some kind of who knows? I'm not going to make excuses for anybody. But, it's just all corrupt. The whole damn government's corrupt, plain and simple.
I think it's important to remember, Dan, that immediately as soon as Trump found out about Jeffrey Epstein, he immediately kicked him out of his inner circle. Like, he didn't think twice about it. And it's just like anything else. We've all had people in our lives that were in the same circle as us that we weren't fans of, and we find out later that they were involved in crazy things, right? We all had that crazy friend who later, after high school, went off and did some crazy crime, and we no longer talk to them. Mm-hmm. It's possible, right? When people start saying, oh, well, Trump also knew Jeffrey Epstein or whatever. Yeah, but he immediately got rid of him. I'm not trying to be, a Trump apologist or anything like that. People know where I stand on Trump. But however, we're going too far. It's a witch hunt. And you even have people on the Democratic side, the left of us, actually saying this, right? There are actual Democrats saying, yes, we're going too far. They're starting to see that this is just political tactics, trying to bury him. And it's been a witch hunt for years, and it's just continuing on and on and on and on. It needs to stop.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're right. And the thing is, Trump at the time when he was a businessman, he took a picture of everybody. Vince McMahon, look at the stuff he did with Vince McMahon. And pictures of Jeffrey Epstein, Hillary Clinton, and all that. At the time, the Democrats loved him. Remember that. Because he was a businessman. Here's the thing, okay? In the entertainment business and in the business world, okay? You want to be allies with everybody. You want to be friends with everybody. You don't care about their political issues, whatever. You want to be for his business purposes. And me is, because I'm a pro wrestler, in the leagues I work for, they don't, like the WWE, they just announced their ambassador. They came out 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, to say, listen, we don't get involved with politics, okay? We're not picking sides. We're staying neutral. We represent everybody, okay? People of all nations and all that. We're, basically just saying, and this is something the NBA, the NFL, and all that should do. Don't use these platforms for political stages. You know what I mean? An entertainment thing, a business world, man. You that's the thing. You put all that aside. If you run a business, you don't care what. You shouldn't be putting the politics within the business anyway. And so I can understand his point. And again, he was a businessman and an entertainer for the TV show. So I got to kind of understand and also defend Trump on that issue, because at the time he wasn't even thinking about politics, so why would he care, and nobody knows who a pedophile is until you actually get to know the person or find out they are, I worked with this guy for years, man, and next thing I read in the news that he got arrested for having sex with a 10-year-old. It shocked the hell out of me. Never knew in my life that this guy would actually do something like that, so you don't know who's a pedophile or not, whatever the case. So I have to say that in defense of Trump on that issue there, but hold on a second. Yep.
The crazy thing is about this is people who try to say again, going into like, oh, well, he knew Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, there is a huge difference between knowing somebody and inviting them to your home and then kicking them out immediately when you find out who they really are and the things that they're involved in. And then a huge difference between somebody who rides your Lolita Express 27 times. And I'm not going to mention any names. You know who I'm talking about. He's been on that plane's flight log 27 times. Start going after the real criminals. Yep. The FBI needs to start going after the real criminals here. It's very clear that there is a bias taking place and that the FBI and these intelligence agencies have become nothing but political arms of the Democratic Party, and this needs to stop. And let me just be clear. I don't want them to be political strong arms of the Republican Party either. Okay? I just want things to be fair. This is supposed to be a non-biased agency. This is justice. This is what they're supposed to do, to seek justice in this world for the people that need it most, and they're not doing their job. It's unfair, it's not right, and it needs to be called out, and it needs to be corrected. Dan, I'm going to take off. It's getting late. I have to go to work in the morning, but I appreciate you guys and give me your time. It was awesome being here in studio with you guys. I look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you, John. And so he's going to be, I think, maybe next week or whatever. He's going to be appearing on The Cutting Edge with John Hall. So it's going to be pretty cool. So take care, brother. And also, guys, you got to remember, if somebody's been once on Jeffrey Epstein's plane to an island, you can't really call them pedophiles either, because here's the thing. You just say you met some guy, right? You became friends with them. Say, hey, listen, dude, I got an island. You can come on I got a private jet. You can come on my island. Who's not going to want to do that? You know what I mean? If I met some person say, oh, yeah, we became buddies with, say, listen, if you want to hang out, man, come to my island for the weekend. I got a private island. I'll get you on. Who's not going to want to do that? You know what I mean? It's the people who repetitively, okay, do this, okay? That's the issue. The people who've been repetitively on airlines. Because even Nixon, okay, he went to Bohemian Grove once, okay? He had no idea what it was about. He even quoted it was the most faggotish place on the planet, okay, after he went there, okay? He never went back, okay? So credit to him on that. So if somebody's been to these things once, okay, you can't really hold their feet to the fire. Because, I mean, again, who's not going to want to go? You become friends with somebody, right? You meet somebody at the gym or whatever. Hey, come on, we're having a party on my island. Well, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a private plane. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. And who's not going to want to jump at that? You know what I mean? Until you find out what really goes on the island, you're not going to want to go back. So the people who go back, those are the people you want to really keep an eye on. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. So anyway, man. And let's get into this news here. So Donald Trump, all documents seized by FBI were declassified, and all they had to do was ask. And I actually brought this up Friday. And he said, yeah, you wanted them all, and he did. That was truth. He said when the whole FBI investigation began, he told them right out, and then it was in the records, hey, anything you need, we'll cooperate. He was 100% cooperative with the FBI. Said, whatever you need, we'll give it to you. All they had to do is say, Mr. Trump, we need those documents. Boom, he would have them in their hands for them. Instead, they wanted to pull a show of force. That's all that was about. You know what I mean? To show of force, to say this is weaponizing the FBI. That's what all that's about, man. And hot take, Al Gore claims Attorney General Garland, DOJ, and FBI acted entirely properly in raiding Mar-a-Lago. Oh, yeah, because here's the thing. If they did this to Obama or Hillary, this is hypocrisy, okay? If they did this to Hillary, right, just say it was Hillary, they'd be trashing the FBI, they'd be calling for, and Biden would actually be calling to abolish the FBI if they did this to Hillary, right? But now they're all praising the FBI, and it's going to happen to them, too. And one way or another, it's going to happen to them, because that's how it always works. And then they'll all be trashing the FBI as well. And I personally think the FBI shouldn't be a federal agency. They should be abolished, not reformed, anything like that. They should be abolished because they have the fingerprints all over most terrorist attacks. Yeah, I'm going to be blunt and straight up with that. That's why JFK wanted them gone. You know what I mean? And the FBI had a big part of his assassination. No doubt on my mind, the FBI and the CIA was a joint organization tasked to get rid of JFK, because they thought JFK would have been a perfect president puppet because of his family. His whole family was corrupt except for Bobby, him and Bobby were the good apples off that tree, and so they thought he'd be the perfect puppet president. But when he got in there, he was actually against all the stuff, man, against secret societies and everything else, and they terminated him because of this stuff. You know what I mean? Many other reasons. Plus, wanting to get rid of the Federal Reserve, too. That was a big part of that. And if you all remember, executive order was 1110. It was a silver bullion order. Basically, JFK established that, right? And nobody ever stopped it. It's still there, but nobody's doing nothing with it. When people buying silver bullions, it was to reinvest into the Bank of the United States of America so we could move away from the Federal Reserve. People forget about that real quick. And that was not too soon after he was knocked off. So I just want to go over some news here, get your thoughts, guys, in the chat room and everything. And the FBI serves Pennsylvania lawmakers with subpoenas. So it's not just Trump. They're going after a lot of people. Federal agents are attempting to criminalize Trump's 2020 election legal challenge. So the people who are just legally challenging it, okay, the FBI is attempting to criminalize them. Federal investigators delivered subpoenas and paid visits to several House and Senate Republican offices in the Pennsylvania capital of Harrisburg on Tuesday and Wednesday, according to multiple sources. And the move comes days after the FBI agent seized cell phone belonging to U.S. Representative Perry. So, yeah, the thing is they're coming after everybody. Remember Trump said this, too? Trump said they're not coming after me, they're coming after you. Yeah, that's where this is going, guys. Check this out, right? Right away, the January 6th thing, all right? Yeah, they're going after people, anybody just about who's been there. I was supposed to be there myself. Thank God I didn't go. They're going after everybody. Like, my friend Chase, he's been harassed by the FBI. Right now he's on kind of home arrest, only work purposes, only can leave the house, whatever the case, but because he tripped over a CNN camera, and he's an independent reporter. So, they got him under scrutiny. Joe Biggs is still in jail for 2 years now, still sitting in jail. No due process at all for these people in jail. And the FBI are harassing anybody just about who's been there. So they're criminalizing Trump supporters. They're criminalizing lawmakers who are legally challenging this. And they're going to come after everybody. Everybody but anybody that doesn't go with the status quo, they're coming after. Some sort of fashion. And they're beefing up the IRS and everything else. And all this is all connected. You know what I mean? So you are looking at a total government takeover. This is what's going on. People, you need to see between the lines. When you're beefing up federal agencies, there's a problem. A big problem. And long before short, you're going to see an FBI call for more agents and everything else. So it's not just the IRS. They're going to be beefing up the FBI too, because they're going to claim, we need more FBI agents to go after these insurgents, these terrorists who violently raided the Capitol building. That was not an insurrection. If anybody thinks that's an insurrection, man, you better go back and read history. An insurrection would have been armed people storming the Capitol, and at that point, there would have been nothing the FBI could have done about that. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. You don't have enough forces to stop 1 million people with guns. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. And not even the National Guard could do anything about that. So you got Trump says FBI may have planted evidence, refused to be monitored during the raid. And Biden's FBI insisted that there be no witnesses to the raid of Mar-a-Lago, President Trump says. Now, here's the thing, all right? I voted for Trump and everything, but the thing is I don't hold excuses for him when he does bad things either. I'm a complete independent constitutionalist as they come. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. All they're doing, okay, is making Trump more popular. That's all they're doing. All these attacks. If you notice with everything, right? Every time they attack somebody, and with the woke mafia, once you go woke, you go broke. Every time they attack something, right? Look, they attack Chick-fil-A, right? Go to Chick-fil-A, the lines are out to the street. They attacked Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby's stocks went through the roof. They attacked the NRA. From their attack, right, the NRA gained almost 2 million more members after that. They attacked InfoWars. InfoWars is more popular than ever. You know what I mean? And they attacked, they're attacking Trump, and his ratings are going through the polls are skyrocketing. So every time they attack somebody, all they're doing is adding fuel to that fire. If they just let it alone, die down, maybe his momentum would die down. But nope, the more they do this, I think, one part of me thinks this whole thing is a stage, rigged stage anyway. They're doing this purposely because you got to understand my point of view, right? Now, being a pro wrestler, right? It's called in-ring psychology, right? One person plays a bad guy, one person plays a good guy. Your job as a bad guy is to make that guy shine brighter than the sun, okay? That's your job as a bad guy, regardless if you're winning or losing, right? And the more you do that, the more you cheat, the more you slander, the more you put that person down. And every time that person gets a little shine of hope, you cut them off. You cut them off. It plays with the people's emotions. Cut them off. Then at the end, when that good guy gets the final comeback and everybody jumps out of their chairs like the butts are on fire, screaming and yelling to the roof, you know what I mean? That's the psychology they use in politics still. That's one side of saying this. And the thing is, too, the other side of this is like, even the globalists. I've never seen a president in my life, okay, that the globalists hated. They've all loved the Bushes. They all loved Biden and Obama and Bill Clinton and the Bushes, right? Republicans, Democrats. But for some reason, all the elite hate Donald Trump. But the thing is, too, on the other side, it's such a mind-boggling job. It's like you don't know who the hell's who or who's on your side or anything, you know what I mean? And the thing is, when he was in office, why didn't he clear out the swamp like he was supposed to do? Why was Dr. Fauci still in power? He should have canned his butt immediately. He had the power to do that. Didn't do that. The FBI still, and the thing is, when he was in office, we still had the same corrupt criminal FBI, the same corrupt criminal IRS, the same corrupt criminal CIA. Nothing changed except for a couple of people in the administration. That's it. So, and everybody says, well, he was going to do that in the second run around, so he could get in office and do it in the second. But, you know what I mean? And the whistleblowers, Edward Snowden and Julian Assange, them two should have been the first two he pardoned right away. Two true American heroes who risk everything to give the American public the truth, right? Instead, he pardons rappers. He pardons people that are irrelevant to anything, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Like, but two people who should have been not only pardoned, but given medals of honor. Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Them two should have been, like, glorified in, like, as true whistleblower heroes for this country. Given medals of freedom and everything else. But, yeah, here they are. Still can't come into the United States without worrying about a federal agency knocking them off. And people bash Putin and everything. Putin's out there protecting one of them, I think, whatever the case, I think is Edward Snowden. You know what I mean? It's sickening, it really is. So, and again, I voted for Trump, but I'm not like every other Trump supporter. I'm not going to make excuses for him when he does bad things. Plus his bump stock thing, I didn't agree with, okay? And 100% didn't agree with the bump stock law. And the red flag law. The red flag law is probably worse than the magazine ban, worse than assault weapons ban, literally, because the red flag law, they could use the back door to come kick your door in over a rumor or a hearsay. Storm your house in the middle of the night, probably shoot your dog and your kid if you jumped out of the bed the wrong way, over a lie, over an accusation or assumption. And thank God a lot of districts and municipalities kind of restrict a little on the state law levels with the red flag thing. But this federal red flag law is dangerous, man. It is the biggest threat to the Constitution, plain and simple. Not just your Second Amendment, your Fourth Amendment, and everything else. But under him, he pushed Operation Warp Speed, too. So those are three big things I held his feet to the fire screaming that he did bad. Three big things. The red flag law, the bump stock, even though I would never use a bump stock, but still, it's still an infringement, all right? And it's one of those days, yeah. So, yeah, all these things he did like that, and it's just like, that's what makes me sick, so... but there are other things too. I defend him on other things too. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Biden doesn't do some good things. Of course, every president does some good things. That's that's their agenda. But the thing is, and I really believe that this whole darn thing is scripted. If you ask me, it's the controllers who run. They're puppets. That's all they are. Yeah, that's what I really believe. But anyway, Trump's niece claims Jared Kushner may be Mar-a-Lago's mole who tipped off the FBI to classified documents. I wouldn't trust this clown actually I could throw him pretty far, but I wouldn't trust this clown far as, let me see who. Tim Morgan could throw, well, Tim could probably throw him far too, but you get the point, all right? So I wouldn't trust this guy at all. Okay, this guy is evil as it comes. Remember, the whole Israeli deal with the dirt temple and all that, he's got his hands hooked into that whole thing. When they put Trump on the coin with King Cyrus, Jared Kushner is the brains behind the whole operation. The whole Israeli tie. This guy is pure evil, man. And remember, his office used to be the same office that the Apple computer came out of, 666 Fifth Avenue in New York City. And I think they changed the address after a while, but whatever the case. But yeah, it's just something is off with this guy. So they think he might be one of the moles that did that. So... And I think we need to look hard why Jared got $2 billion, and we need to look very hard why he hasn't been so quiet in so many months now, Trump says. So Trump's niece, and Jared Kushner's son-in-law. And again, the brains behind the whole Israeli thing. So the FBI claims to recover 11 sets of classified files, including TSCI, top secret, sensitive compartment information, documents, of course, raid of former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate on August 8th, and approved by Attorney General Merrick Garland. And again, the judge who signed off on that order, Bruce Reinhart, he quit his federal prosecution job just to become a defense attorney representing employees of Jeffrey Epstein. Kind of crazy, huh? And CBS panel fears FBI raid in no way deterring Trump from announcing 2024 run. And CBS, even though they hate Trump, they said the same thing I did. All they're doing is stoking the fire. The thing is, the more they attack him, they hit him with everything. You know what I mean? The fake Russia collusion and the wiretap and all this other stuff. And all it did is make him more popular. Remember Bill Clinton when they accused him of getting fellatio from, what the hell's her name, man? One of his secretary, I forgot the woman's name. But, yeah, what did it do? It made his ratings go through the roof. Sick how it sounds, yeah. And Bill Clinton was a big sexist, big time, man. I mean, pervert, I should say, him and his wife. But yeah, that's another story altogether. But yeah, it made him more popular. But now all this is doing is stoking the fire. You know, that's all it's doing. And a panel on CBS Face the Nation huddled on Sunday to eliminate the fact that FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago doesn't seem to be deterring from President Trump's announcing 2024 presidential run. And yeah, they basically just fearing that, hey, this could be politically explosive, but don't want to go ahead of that terms and the political impact. So they know damn well all this is doing is just boosting Trump that much more. And again, guys, one part of me says, like, well, this guy could be legit. Other part of me says this could be a giant thing. Because here's the thing, right? How do you make somebody... Again, if you know wrestling psychology, right, or entertainment psychology, right, your job is to tell a story to the fans. Your job is to get them booing the hell out of you or cheering the hell out of you, right? How do you make that good guy look good? You know what I mean? And we could go on all day with this stuff. And like Hulk Hogan, right, when he was at the top of the game, right, and he was wrestling, right. So when he started dying down, right, what do? They put a major heel that actually beat him for the championship. Cheated to beat him for the championship, right? Oh, man, people were ripped, man. The people wanted a rematch, and it was just like... And it's the same thing in politics, guys. So, in this case, Trump wins, okay? Now, they get him out of office, and for 4 years, they just build him up. They built... What's going on? The whole thing that's going on right now is all is going on is they're building Trump up. That's all they're doing. Biden's building him up. He's doing his job to build him up. So is in the whole federal government. Their job is to build him up as this massive baby face. So this right now, the false hopes are killed. So, and all they're doing is making him more popular. So when he comes back and makes his big comeback, like Hulk Hogan did, make a comeback and end up beating The Undertaker for the championship back, right? His popularity exploded through the roof. This is the same. I see the same thing going on. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I mean, that's what I see. And we could be setting up for the biggest heist in the world, man, that's ever seen in politics. Or we could be setting up for a good, I don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like one part of me is like, all right, give the guy the benefit of the doubt, which I did. But the thing is, those 3 things he did with the bump stock and all that really ticked me off. You know what I mean? And he didn't drain nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, and I know how politics work, man, and especially at the top levels. And it's just like, are we being bamboozled? Because we know damn for sure he's got to run in 2024. Okay, the writings are on the wall. Right, we all know he's running, and we all know, especially if they keep it legit, he's going to win by a landslide. I got to watch what I say, and that's what they're looking for. They want him to have an historic win. You know what I mean? Not just put him over, but put him over big. And to put somebody over big, you got to do your job the best you can as a bad guy to really just smash that person. You got to verbally, physically, mentally, spiritually just pound on the person. And what it does is it gets the fans of that person just that much more angry. So it's like basically when that good guy makes that big comeback. Again, people jump off the chair and like the whole place is electric. Yeah, I used to play a good guy too, you know what I mean? And that when the bad guy, when the heel did his job, okay, made me look like Superman. Made me look like you know what I mean, when you got a whole place cheering for you, you know what I mean? It made you look like a superstar, you know what I'm saying? And that's what a real bad guy's job to do that. You know what I mean? To make you look good. Regardless if you got to win or lose, okay? And that's what's going on here. They are making Trump to look like literally a saint, okay? And we know he's not. I'm not saying he is. That's what they're doing. So come the elections 2 years, they're going to really, they're going to nail this country down like you would not believe, okay? And come 2 years from now, when he gets in, it's going to be like, everybody's literally got to look at him as a savior. And which we know the only savior we have is Jesus Christ, the only one who's going to really transform this world around. And when he comes back, he's not coming back as peace. He's coming back to bring a sword. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. And so just go a couple more articles here. The FBI bulletin warns a dirty bomb threat and increasing calls for civil war in the wake of Mar-a-Lago raid, while former agent and GOP Brian Fitzpatrick says agency warned him that his life was in danger due to threats from Trump supporters. So here we go. Like I said earlier, they're going to come after Trump supporters. And anybody who dares voices out, they're going to start looking at people. And here, I think they beefed up where's the article here? I'll get to it in a minute. The FBI actually put a security wall around their headquarters in D.C. because they're afraid of a civil uprising. And they're the ones creating it. They're the ones who are creating a civil war, plain and simple. The more they sit there and attack, and it's Trump, his people getting more pissed off. And look at what's coming out of this. So Brian Fitzpatrick urged lawmakers on both sides of the aisle not to jump to conclusions in the FBI's unannounced search of Mar-a-Lago. He said, just be quiet about it because you got to give, and he's right. If they would be quiet about it and all that, all you're doing is stoking its fire by announcing this and all this stuff. And yeah. And he said that checked in with several former FBI colleagues to see if they were okay at Republicans' verbal attacks in federal law enforcement. And Fitzpatrick suggests that new DHS, Homeland Security, and the FBI bulletin was a top concern. So, yes, Homeland Security and the FBI put both a bulletin out warning people of dirty bomb threats, increasing calls for civil war in the wake of Mar-a-Lago. So, first of all, and I got to say this, okay, a normal Trump supporter is not going to use dirty bombs. That's a load of harnaki, plain and simple. I might not agree with everything what they say, but they're about. But the thing is that I know for sure Trump supporters are not going to go blow stuff up or anything like that. That's not how they operate. Most of these people are patriots. You know what I mean? So the FBI is just using this to go after conservatives. That's all it is. And highlights increase in target. Violent threats against officials, including the federal judge who signed off on the Mar-a-Lago warrant. Oh yeah, here's hypocrisy, right? They're concerned about the federal judge signing off his warrant, right? But no. They're not concerned at all about the threats being made to the Supreme Court judges when they decide to can Roe versus Wade, right? So all the animals out there are going to the homes, attacking the homes and their offices and everything else, threatening them with their lives. But yeah, that's not a concern. But now all of a sudden they're concerned because this federal judge here signed off on this unwarranted search. And GOP Representative Perry, FBI, about intimidating anyone who refuses to bend a knee to the narrative. And he's right on that. So they're going to go out and intimidate anybody who refuses to bend to the whole narrative. And this is a guy whose personal cell phone was seized by the FBI, as we just discussed, yeah. So you got Republicans bash for attacks on IRS agents after targeting FBI. So critics are slamming Republicans for now attacking the Internal Revenue Service just days after targeting the FBI. And so the funding tax exchange is part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which next heads to the White House, where Joe Biden will sign it into law, which he did. So basically, yeah, they're going to hire 87,000 armed IRS agents going after middle-class people. And they say, oh, the Republicans are bashing IRS now and the FBI. Well, both of them should be abolished, plain and simple. Plain and simple. So IRS just got $80 billion to beef up, and a big goal going after rich tax dodgers. No, they're not going after rich tax dodgers. They're going after the middle class. That's NPR News, of course. They can say, no. And they all come out defending the mainstream media. Oh, no. Then this force is not for the regular people. It's for rich tax dodgers. You got to hire 87,000 armed people to go after rich tax dodgers? Bull crap. They're coming after you, me, and everybody else, guys. And IRS is about to get a big infusion of cash. And, and as part of the massive climate and healthcare bill passed on Friday, tax collective agencies will receive $80 billion over the next decade. And here's the thing, too. The IRS already started hiring. We showed that Friday. They already started hiring these guards. They're whatever they want to call them, rent-to-tax agent cops, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they already started hiring people long before the bill was even passed. So they knew, they were already told ahead of time, yeah, this is going to pass. So start hiring now. It was already on the jobs website, which I'll show you here in a minute here. This is IRS, your friendly arm Internal Revenue Service. So yeah, that's the IRS's website, the job description, and right at the 2 bullet points at the bottom. Carry a firearm, be willing to use deadly force if necessary, and be willing to able to participate in arrest, execution, search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. So recently they removed those 2 bullet points off the website. And here, the funny thing is too, right? When they did that, Snopes came out with an article, the so-called big fact checkers, right? Oh, no, the IRS ain't hiring armed guards. But yet it was on their website. They're still hiring armed guards. Yeah, so, so-called for the fact checkers, right? Unbelievable, really is. And so I'm just brushing through this media here first, and we'll talk about it. And Senator Warren wants to expand IRS powers beyond Inflation Reduction Act to prepare for tax returns. So, given
Let
IRS...
this sweet mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild...
Yeah, okay. Senator Warren wants to expand IRS powers beyond Inflation Reduction Act to prepare to tax returns there. So, coming up in January. And giving the IRS the ability to prepare individual tax returns is a controversial idea. So, not only, what he's saying is, we need more than 87,000 IRS agents. He wants to expand this. So, literally, and right now, as it is, with the hiring all them, they're going to have more agents than the Pentagon and FBI combined. And this guy wants to expand it. They want to create a huge army, basically. That's what's going on. An army of IRS agents. Imagine if you guys watched the Terminator, the Matrix movies, Agent Smith. The bad guy in the movie. Yeah, imagine a bunch of these guys walking around, man. And tucked into the tax and spending bill that passed this weekend, 15 million provisions to a study to allow IRS to prepare taxes. So the provisions come after Senator Elizabeth Warren from Mass and other Democrats have pushed legislation for adding tax filing to the the agency's purview there. So again, it's not just the Inflation Reduction Act; they want to expand it even more. An IRS audit will generate $20 billion from those making under $400,000 Inflation Reduction Act. So that's all of us. I don't make anywhere close to that, not even a quarter of that. So, yeah. So, anybody making under $400,000, yeah, they're going to have all my IRS agents come there. Well, if you don't do it right, yeah, this is crazy, man. This is total tyranny, man. And mind you, right, the revolution, part of the revolution started over, I think it was a 2% tax on tea, 2 or 3%, whatever it was. Yeah. And why isn't America outraged about this right now? But we went to war with Britain over a 2% tax, and here we are. We're about to get bombarded. Okay, the American people as a whole should tell them, look, enough is enough. You want to fight, we're going to bring it, plain and simple. They want to hire 87,000 agents. What the American people need to do is start 87,000 militia units. That's what needs to happen, you know what I mean? And full militia units, not, consisting of hundreds of people in each militia unit. That, that you need to keep these people in check. That's the constitutional, God-given right as declared in the Declaration of Independence. You have, God-given right to defend yourself, plain and simple, against government tyranny. This is tyranny beyond it, and it's going to get worse, guys. If people don't stand up right now and do something about this, okay, now we got the elections coming up, and you guys need to do what you can in the elections to make sure our good people get in. And hopefully we could avert a physical civil war. Hopefully, you know what I mean? And nobody wants that. I'm not calling for it, and nobody wants it. But, if push comes to shove, man, like we all, Judge Bush said, basically we're not going to live on our knees, you know what I mean? Well, I'll die on my feet before I live on my knees, plain and simple. And they're going to come after everything, man. Oh, man, you get these people all the power, they're going to come after your guns, your free speech, everything. They're going to, drain your paychecks and everything else. So the middle class won't escape the new IRS audit wave. So CBO analysis believes that the White House claimed about new funded federal tax collectors. Then we just showed you that here. that they want to expand even beyond the Inflation Reduction Act. So yeah, they're coming after the middle class. Don't listen to Snopes or NPR to say no. They're just going after rich tax dodgers. No, they openly state anybody makes under $400,000 a year. That's just about everybody. They're coming after you. Plain and simple. They're gonna be. You better cross your T's and dot your I's in your lowercase J's when you do your taxes. If not, yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of arm agents, and you know damn well there's gonna be trigger happy people, and power to the head coming to your door, thinking they're Mr. Gestapos. You know what I mean? Because God forbid you made a mistake or error on your taxes. Oh yeah, we're gonna come to your door. We want to audit now. We want to see receipts, even though most people don't keep receipts. We want to see receipts for this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, it's going to get ugly, guys. It really is. So unless there's something done here, I don't know, man. I honestly don't think this election is going to save this. I really don't. Because these criminals, regardless of the elections, these criminals are going to be in power until at least Biden gets out. We still got another 2 years with this crap. And it's going to get worse. They're going to expand this, and they're going to expand the FBI. Watch when I tell you. They're going to expand the FBI and all these top-notch agencies there. So that's what's going to go on. IRS and the FBI are going to be like literally armies when they're done. So there were multiple reasons besides taxes we were separated from England. Yeah, I know. DJ. Yeah, what's up, brother? My buddy Daniel. Yeah, there was multiple reasons besides taxes. Yeah. Freedom of religion. That's why we went to war. Here in Rhode Island, Roger Williams created Providence, Rhode Island, means in God's care. He told Christians and Puritans, if you want to escape the persecution from the British, because they were trying to impose the Church of England on us, come here and you're free, freedom of religion. I mean, that's where it started from here in Rhode Island. And also we had a Minuteman law that, and in Massachusetts too, that everybody had to carry their gun on them at all times. 16 years and older males had to do that. To basically be ready for a British invasion, you know what I mean? And plus the British wanted to take our guns. That's what started the Lexington Concord. In Lexington Concord, Lexington Green there, the British were coming to go take the weapons from the civilian armory. So the people stood up there. It's like, no, you're not taking crap. Yeah, and they stood there with arms, literally, to say, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. Those are the main reasons of the whole revolution started. And it's the same damn thing they're doing today. This is what bothers me, man. When you got 3% of the population standing up against the biggest army in the world because they wanted to tax them, they wanted to force a state religion on them, and they wanted to take their guns, right? And here we are today. We have the biggest armed civilian population in the world's history. And here we are sitting here doing jack crap. I don't think people just grasp this concept. If we as American people stood together, put your political parties aside for now, stand together and stop this government intrusion, we would squash them like cockroaches. It wouldn't even be a fight. They don't have enough agents. The military scattered all over the world, and most of the military said they would never fire on American people. They don't have enough. People don't realize that. It's such a mind job, really. It's like the Germans and the Jews there. Thousands and thousands of Jews packed into a single camp with maybe 20, 30 guards. They could have overtaken them easily, but it was a psychological warfare that painted on them because they're big, bad soldiers with guns. But in this case, yeah, they were unarmed and were armed. We got more firepower, more guns, and more people than all standing armies on the planet combined. So why are we taking crap from a small group of elitists? That's what bothers me the most, man. And I know, some federalists say, oh, he's talking extreme. Well, too bad. I am talking extreme. You don't like it too damn bad. This here, okay, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights gives me that authority and power to say that and do that. Plain and simple. And where is the guts of America? This would have never, 200 years ago, you know what would have happened if, just say the people, all right? I'm just saying the people 200 years ago, for some reason came alive today, God says, all right, we're going to put you back out there. Bang. You know what I mean? You think they would be laying down to this? No, they'd be taking up bombs and shooting people in the face. That's exactly what they would be doing. They wouldn't see me playing political BS. Oh, we can't say that and do that because we don't be politically correct. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be doing that. They'd be kicking the doors in the churches, kicking the doors in the bars and the clubs and everything else. Say, dude, get off your ass, grab a gun, and let's go fight. Let's go bring our liberty back home. That's what they would be doing. Taking up moms and tell them that you got one or two choices. You back down from what the hell you're doing, or we're going to put you down. That's what the American people as a whole need to do. Sounds extreme? Yeah, very extreme, and that's what you have to do to stop tyrants. Because the longer you play politically correct, the longer you hope and pray, the election's going to work, the more power they're going to get. And this happens all the time. Just wait. And that's why most of Trump's supporters, Trump's going to save the day. Trump's going to save the day. Even if he does get in, he's still got to battle all these. We need this country to stand up as a whole. They'll literally kick the snot out of these communists in government. That's what we need to do in this country. That's my opinion, man. And it's not just my opinion. That's exactly what those people would have done 200 years ago, 150 years ago. You think they would sit here and take half this crap? No. They'd put everybody in jail, and anybody that got in the way, too. It doesn't matter if they're military or police. They'd throw their asses in jail, too. That's what they would do, and they'd put them in their own handcuffs. That was what the American people were like back then. Not today, like a bunch of little cowards and pussies. Ooh, we can't talk like that. Ooh, I don't want to get involved because I'm a coward. I want to stay home and watch my Netflix all day. Ooh. You know what they would do too? After they won the revolution, right? They would come back home and smack half this country's in the face. The people in this country, a bunch of gutless cowards. You sat there and you did nothing. Yeah, I'm only one guy. I mean, I can't go save the world. You know what I mean? But one day, when whatever regardless happens, okay, we win this or lose this, whatever the case, at least I could stand up for pride. And no, not pride like this isn't pride. I'm saying that I could stand up and be like, you know what? And I could look my kid in the face, my grandkids in the face. I tried to do something. Unlike most people, Dad or Grandpa, how come you didn't do nothing about it? Why we live in this tyranny for? I can't even speak out without getting in trouble by the government. Because Grandpa and Daddy was a bunch of cowards that did absolutely jack crap. How are you going to face your kids and your grandkids, if you have grandkids after this? How are you going to face them and tell them you did nothing because you're a coward? Or you didn't want to get politically involved? How are you going to face them? At least I could say, regardless of what happens, at least I could say I stood there, I risked everything to fight for these freedoms in this country. And I'm only one person. I can't do it all. I know that. They know that. Then the thing is, they're not afraid of me individually. They're not afraid of you individually. They're afraid of us collectively. That's who they're afraid of. But again, it's like to try to call people to do this, it's insane, really is. And it's almost futile sometimes because people are hoping and praying that Trump's going to save the country. Trump's not going to save this country, guys. You are. You have to save this country. And ultimately, Jesus Christ is the only one who's going to save this world. The people, the good people in it, and then he's going to destroy it and, make a new heaven and earth, as the Bible says. But yeah, people need to stand up against the IRS. You need to stand up against the FBI. We need collectively to tell them, yeah, kiss my butt. You come down our streets trying to intimidate our people, we're going to be there armed and ready for you. That's what you need to do, man. You need groups of people, not individual. If you say that and try to do that, yeah, I mean, you're peeing against the wind with that. But if you have large groups, just say your mayor, okay, or your governor, whatever. I think Ron DeSantis would say something like that. Say, listen, the governor of Florida, you're not coming in my state and doing that crap, and we're going to stop you. And the sheriffs out there around this country, many of them are standing up against the government. They tell them, say, yeah, you come try to take our citizens' guns, we're going to shoot you. This is coming from sheriff's departments, okay, across this country. If we had more people in groups like this, man, these people would be powerless. The only reason why they're getting away with it for because everybody's being a bunch of pussies. Laying down and I'm trying to be clean as possible with this, man, and taking it up the rear. Okay, I'm going to say it just like that. That's what they're doing. You know what I mean? And that's all they're doing. And they're hoping and praying of election and whatever. In elections, I'm telling you, it'll be a miracle if these elections saved anything. At this point, so I could talk to the cows come home, man. I tell you, And and I know some people say, well, I thought you were Christian, Dan. You can't be talking like that. So first off, if you think that, you don't know nothing about the Bible, because the Bible very much says to stand the hell up and fight these coward damn tyrants. You think, because the thing is, the normal people's mindset today, if people had that mindset, we would have never had America. Okay, this country would have never become a sovereign nation. Okay, Israel would have never become a nation back in those days. You know what I mean? It took strong, brave men to stand up against tyranny. You can see that with David and Goliath. You can see that with Shamgar, Samson, Joshua. You go right through the scriptures, guys. Peter carried a sword too. You think they took crap from people? Yeah, actually somebody insult you, turn the other cheek, whatever. But they didn't take crap. They didn't sit there and let somebody beat on them. Are you out of your mind? You know what I mean? And if people got this is the watered down delusion of the churches today, man. And they tell people, oh, don't get involved. Just pray about it. No, yeah, you pray about it, absolutely. But you get involved. God's people always got involved when it came to stand up against. They're the first ones to stand up against tyranny. The people in this country were driven by God. Now, granted, the founding fathers, many of them were occultists and deists and everything else too. But the people in this country, okay, 99.9% of the people in this country were Christian, Puritan-like people. That they knew the scripture, okay? They knew the inspiration that's given the Bible. They knew all the overwhelming odds that the Jews faced, the overwhelming odds that God's people faced over the years. And they stood up and won because they had God with them. They knew that. That's why they stood up against the world's strongest army. Now, if people had this in their mentality today, we would decimate these cockroaches like nothing. People don't understand this, man. They don't understand. They'll get all intimidated because you see a bunch of goofballs coming down the street with these polyester suits and sunglasses on like they're somebody special. FBI agents said, yeah, I mean, they don't intimidate me, and they're a bunch of clowns as far as I'm concerned. And the thing is, they intimidate most people. When in reality, we could squash these people like cockroaches. And again, I have to say this, so I'm not saying all FBI, IRS agents are bad people. When I was young, I wanted to get into law enforcement, and I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool, to be an FBI agent one day and go after, federal large criminals, But come to find out, those federal large criminals are people running the government, Man, it's crazy. So there are good people in the FBI and IRS. We could only hope and pray that they would honor their oath when it comes to that time. You got to shoot an American citizen or arrest them for their constitutional rights, or you got to stand down and obey your constitutional oath. Same thing with cops and everything else in the military, you know what I mean? And the thing is, if you go, at that point, all gloves are off. You stand there, you got the side, that line right there. You stand for the New World Order, or you stand on the side of liberty and freedom and the Constitution, God, and everything else. So there's no middle ground, okay? You either stand on one side or the other. You stand with the enemy, you got to be brought down with the enemy. And here's the thing, too. And I have to keep saying this, especially because I know there's probably top officials watching us and everything else. Okay, I have to keep expressing this, okay? All right, it doesn't matter if we as a people win or lose, okay? Here's the thing, though. The greatest part about this, okay? The greatest part about this doesn't matter if we as a people win or lose, okay? You're going to lose regardless. This is a threat and a promise to every corrupt federal agency, every corrupt federal official and global official, right? This is a threat and promise, okay? I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter what we could do as a people. Well, it matters because somebody's coming to kick your royal asses upside down, and his name is Jesus Christ. Take that as a threat and a promise because it's coming. It's not a question if it's going to come or when it's going to come. It's coming. And all you guys that served evil in the New World Order and corruption, you're going to be brought to justice swiftly. And again, he's coming back with a sword. He's not coming back in some stupid temple in the middle of the desert in Israel, okay? Some dumb third temple, okay? He's not coming back to bring peace to the world. He's not coming back in the caves. He's not coming back in the desert. Not coming back in the temple. Not coming back from the water. He's coming back from the sky. And when he comes back, all hell is going to break loose. Hell and high water is coming your way. And that's the threat and promise. And I can affirm that right here. Because the Bible says it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. And make no mistake about it. So you can serve evil all you want, and the corrupt IRS agents, corrupt FBI, corrupt people in the government, you can serve it all you want because somebody's coming back to kick your ass sideways. Lay the biggest smackdown in the history of mankind. Make no mistake about that, man. And that's what drives people like me. That's what gives us this hope and inspiration. Because, yeah, you could come kill me. You could come arrest me, whatever the case. But I know, okay, when it's all said and done, I know all this is only temporary. I know when it's all said and done, when my Savior comes, my general, my God, my King, my ruler, okay? When he comes back, your ass is toast. Guarantee that. Make no mistakes about that. Make no mistake. Take it, please. Take it as a threat and a promise. Please. I want you to do it. And I want you to get so much. Oh, man. I want you to be so arrogant and cocky because build yourself up like you're mighty, all right? Because when he comes back, he's going to sweep that ladder from under your legs and he's going to kick your ass like you have no idea. You want hell? You want evil? Guess what? Hell is coming your way, scumbags. And this goes out to everybody who serves evil, everybody who likes to kill babies, everybody who likes to take civil liberties, and just pure evil people. Hell is coming your way. You want evil, you're going to get it. You have no idea what you're getting. And it's going to get worse than that. You're going to get hell, then you're going to get the lake of fire, which is 10 times worse than hell itself. Make no mistake about that, man. And, man, that's what fires me up every time because I know if God's with me, there's not a damn thing you scumbags could do about it. Not a damn thing. Don't think so. Come on. Oh, man. You just bring it. You know what I mean? One thing you don't want to do is piss off a God-fearing, Bible-believing American. You don't want to do that. And there's many of us out there that would kick the snot out of you cockroaches. Don't think so. Come and try it. And I'm just like, oh, man. This is so crazy, man. This is you liars out there planning stuff. This is what's going to happen to you guys. Okay, the Bible says this, okay? This is the lying manipulation in the media and the government and everything. And Romans 1:18 says, the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness and men who suppress the truth and unrighteousness. So for all you fact checkers, all you disinformation agents, who are the ones lie to everybody every day, yeah, hell is coming your way, scumbags. The World Economic Forum, the United Nations, the Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, all you people are going straight to the lake of fire. And false witness shall not be unpunished, and he speaks lies shall perish. That's Proverbs 19:9. Plain and simple. And this, the Ten Commandments, guys, plain and simple. That. You know, these people are murdering us every day, and, you know, these people just say bear false witness against us. That's what the FBI and the feds are doing now. They bear false witnesses against you. That's what they're going to try to do. And God's not going to deal with that. Okay, plain and simple. And it's only so long you could pull on Superman's cape before you get your ass smashed. And I'm saying it just straight up, man. And no, people who I know people like, oh yeah, language. Well, so I'm sorry, that's who I am, and I'm gonna be blunt and tell you the way it is. You know, I'm not gonna be politically correct about stuff. And you go against God, you go against freedom and all that stuff, you're gonna get your ass handed to you like you have no belief. And I mean, it's crazy, man. It's gonna come your way. And please, I want you guys out there, the evil out there, to know that I told you to your face. So I'll look you in the eye with no intimidation at all. Looking you in the eye to tell you cockroaches, death and hell is coming your way, scumbags. Take that as a threat and promise, because my Lord and Savior is coming back to ream your ass to a new one, man. And I hope and pray that you guys repent from this. I hope you turn from your evil ways and before it's too late, because it's still time. Okay, you need to repent now and turn from your ways, because if you don't, you have no idea what you're facing. You think because you're running around your polyester gay suits and your guns and your sunglasses and all, these cool cars and all that, you think, oh, we got the whole government behind us. Yeah, you ain't gonna do jack crap against what's coming. Jesus Christ, through the clouds with the sword. Okay, he said he's gonna smite all the evil on this planet, and the birds and all that are gonna eat off your carcasses. Make no mistake about that, man. And so, guys, we got a PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App if you want to help donate money to keep this ministry going and on Friday nights, and also this news agency. So thank you guys for who have been donating. The links are in the description. So anything you could do to help us out, it's very grateful. And check out all the content on Now You See TV, guys. Anything from The Cutting Edge to Remnant Restoration, The Midnight Ride, FOJCRadio, Pounders Live. And coming up Wednesday, Rip It Wednesday, it's me. It's going to be an awesome show. It's 7 p.m. Eastern on the Cutting Edge channel. And the link's right in the description at the bottom. It's called The Cutting Edge. It's going to be on that channel. It's called Rip It Wednesday. It's right before this show. So we'll be broadcasting 9 p.m. Eastern here on this show, but at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's going to be me, John Hall, Brian Reese, and also a special guest joining us. It's going to be Joshua Watts from JoshuaWattsLeather.com. So we're going to just sit there and, rip it up. All right, guys. So I am. What time is it? Yeah, I gotta get going. So get your free subscription on nystv.org. Dan the Man is a promo code to get a 1 month free. So use coupon code Dan the Man. And thank you, FOJCRadio.com and beforeitsnews.com for carrying this show. And guys, please support Jonathan Resendes. And thank you, Valerie, for putting the links out. So, guys, Valerie in the chat room put the links out for the donation pages. We got a PayPal, a Venmo, and a CashApp. So you could literally use anything to donate money on these platforms. It helps go into this operation. And what we're trying to do is, as you've seen the poor camera quality when I had a guest in the studio, I got to get something going here to get better microphones and a whole system set up so I could have in-house guests. You know what I mean? Because right now we're working on new cameras and new microphones and a system to set up here, probably some kind of a switchboard or something. And it's a lot of money it costs. You know what I mean? So. And everything you see here and more is because of you guys out there who graciously donated to the show here. And I trust in the Father. He's going to provide too. And so we just need to build this up, guys, and get the show up more and bring more content to you. So we'll see you guys. And support Jonathan Resendes. And his donation page as well is in the description too. So in the video. So who cares about Christmas dinner? It's up, Jason T. And acknowledge everybody in the chat room. What's up, Troy? It was great to hear from you guys Friday night and the call. We had like 20 calls. It was awesome. It was funny because we opened the phone lines. Nobody's calling in, right? Then Brian's like, I'll watch everybody call at once. Sure enough, bing, 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 bing. We heard from a lot of great people. We did a lot of prayers, and that's our Spiritual Warfare Friday, guys. Spiritual Warfare Friday. So check that out. Coming up this week, too. And so thank you, Roy, Tim, Valerie, Jason, Jesus, Himalaya, what's up, Max, Jesus Owns, Roy, and repeated some of these names here. So everybody else in the chat room, thank you all for joining us. And John Hall, thank you for joining us as well. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming on the show. And congratulations on your marriage, too. So we'll see you Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Rip It on the Cutting Edge, then back, actually on Rumble. We'll put the links on my website, TruthRadioShow.com. So check the links out early Wednesday. Check TruthRadioShow.com. We'll have the links for the shows posted and the times. Just click on it and it goes to the show. So love you all. God bless. Shalom. And you are the Resistance. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. It is fire. Defending liberty in the spirit of 1776. Thank you for supporting TruthRadioShow.com in our continuous fight against the New World Order. If you want to donate and help contribute toward our daily news show and our spiritual warfare ministries, contribute any amount to the following links in the description. That's our PayPal, our Venmo, or our Cash App. Or just simply take out your camera and scan the code bars on the screen. And we thank you once again for help supporting the fight against the New World Order. And remember, you are the Resistance. God bless.